There we are from the other side of the world. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, I was like, I was planning to record a Bitcoin update right now. And I was like, man, I have a couple of hours. I'm sitting next to the router. I tested my internet, which apparently is very fast here. So it should easily be doable to do a live stream. And I was like, you know what? We're going live from Cape Town, South Africa, instead of doing a Bitcoin update. So here we are. It's a pleasure, as always, to be greeted by your messages. So, yeah, different environment. I'm currently in the house that the parents of my fiance Airbnb online. And the guests left, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. So, and I think the next guests will only be here somewhere at the end of something September when we already leave. So this can be my streaming hub. Let's say whenever I have time, I can record updates in this place as well as... do live streams. Now, I actually don't know if I'm allowed to share from them which house I am, but it's on Airbnb. So maybe if any of you like to come to South Africa, this place is it's amazing. It's amazing. But anyway, that being said, the stream setup is a little bit different. So you might sometimes see my OBS on the screen or, whatever, also the chat, because I only have one screen. And as you can see, I got the chat on my phone as well, just in case. So I can follow what you guys are up to. But the moment I'm going to switch to my my chart in a second, then you will also sometimes see the chat in the screen, and I keep track of what you guys are saying by checking my phone as well. So if I look down, just know I'm checking you guys out, but I'll try to put the chat on my screen as much as I can. So let me switch frames here. You can see my OBS. Everything is working very nicely indeed. And this is the chat, right? So I can have a look at what you guys are saying. Now, you can see the chat as well. I'm actually going to play my own stream on my phone just so I know exactly what screen we're on, because usually I can check OBS, but now at least I know what you guys are seeing, which is nice. So from South, I'm actually pretty excited to do this live stream. This is the first one from South Africa. Like, I've never done any live stream, YouTube, whatever stuff. I mean, I didn't even have the channel a few months back, but here we are, we're going live. So as always, by the way, hi everyone. Let me go through the list very quickly. Of course, Christian, welcome. First message by you. You were on point here. Sultan Kapusi, Nick K, Wajab Wahab. Actually, I can just do it here as well, no? Hey man, I'm in Riyadh, and I saw you mentioned coming to Riyadh soon. Yeah, probably in December. The flights are not booked yet, but I have to go to a World Championship that the Global Esports Federation organizes, and I'm one of the board members. And we also have a yearly board meeting there. So thanks for all the hearts, by the way. I can't see who's pressing that button, but I appreciate you. Farshuk Farouk, we miss you, man. Yep, I'm sorry. That's why I go live, right? I can first of all engage with you guys, but I can also analyze the charts, because actually this morning I have been providing updates, but I didn't have the time to do a video and record the video, but I did have time to at least analyze the chart. So I was updating the silvers because, it takes less time. I don't have to record and all this stuff because we had to go out. We went to friends and, it's holiday in the end. So, but yeah, I will try to at least provide you with as much, insights and stuff as I can. Beautiful and amazing day. Welcome, Cryptinvest. Ersin, good to see you here. Market is going up. Yup, as expected, really. Flotty, I think those are flags, usually. Welcome, man. Incredible Sub-Zero, ready to short? I don't know. Not yet, probably. Randlelwa, how is South Africa? We're going to talk about that for sure. How is live over there? Welcome, Dan. I'll make sure to talk to you about what we're going to do here as well, because there's a busy agenda. What's up? What's up, Salat, Wes, Kagan, LJ, Liquid Mafia, Bit, Phantom, Daniel, Ellie, Guller... That's a complex. Guller, Rager, Slan, Shoo, Crypto Blinder, and Ersin Yilmaz. Wave 4 triangle or not? It's not something I'm looking at myself. But as always, so don't forget, the chat is out of the window, but I got you guys on my phone, so I can check what you guys are writing. Sean, welcome as well. And Puppet, good to see you around. So what we're going to do now is we're going to analyze the chart. It's basically, I wanted to record a video now, a Bitcoin update. Instead, I go live. So let's go through the folders that I have, which I actually wanted to go through anyway in like a short Bitcoin update video. So let's do a live Bitcoin update, as I tend to do and always do, really. And then after that, we go into chatting, and I can talk to you about, South Africa, as well as what we're up to here and some of the, stuff that's planned. So first things first, right? Let's start with the analysis. Heike, welcome as well. Good to see you around. Good to see you around. Good to see more and more green names as well. Thanks everyone for your support of being a member, becoming a member, and hopefully during these 3 weeks I can still, provide the expected value, even though I am on the other side of the world and am on holiday, but I really do my best. So let's go through the analysis, get that done, and then we go into the chatting mode, right? So first of all, on the, I call it low time frame scenario. This is the 6 hour I'm at the moment. So we have low time frame, micro, and then local. This is something which is the bearish scenario, right? We also have a bullish one, but this is the bearish scenario where we are looking for a wave, bigger wave C to the downside, which is a 5-wave structure, right? So we have then a wave 1, nice corrective wave 2, and eventually you have a wave 3, looking for 4, and then eventually 5. Now, the invalidation of this scenario really is if you start to close high time frame candles above the 0.5, which is currently at 27.8K. So that is usually not what you want to see. The 618 is a very rare target for a wave C. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that really being hit for a wave 4. So that is absolutely an invalidation for me, actually, at 28.4K. But a common target for a wave 4 is between the 382 and the 05. Now, usually a minimum target for wave 4 is the 0.236, which, as you can see, has already been hit, sitting at 26.5K. But the 382 to 05 area is interesting, between 27.2 and 27.8K. And what makes it interesting also is that the monthly over here is right on top of the 382 at 27.2K. So that's definitely interesting. Now, what you see at the moment as well is that I put the wave 3 already in for now on top of the 1.618, and I put it at this pivot. And that is actually thanks to the analysis of Anto Cornello. I forgot the name. Guy in Luke Antonello, that was it. Luke Antonello in Discord shared a chart the other day on the Bitstamp chart where this piece of price action over here is a bit more clear, which could indicate that over here we already have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wave 5 inside wave 3 being in, currently working on a sideways bigger blue wave 4. Now, because wave 2 was sideways and complex and shallow, the tendency for a wave 4, rule of alternation, is that a wave 4 tends to be more sharp, meaning, like a sharper correction, so higher, and also shorter than usually, because usually wave 2 tends to be a short, deep move on the chart, and therefore then wave 4 becomes long and complex when wave 2 usually is simple. But now wave 2, WXY in wave 2, we had a flat, complex X and a zigzag in wave Y, reaching the 0.382, which is a rare target for a wave 2. So it is shallow and it is complex, making it more probable for wave 4 to be simple, deep, and short. There's no guarantees, because also there's still high probabilities for wave 4 to still be complex, still be short, or still be long as well, just like wave 2. But that's something we, of course, will see in time. So we're then looking for a wave 4, and eventually we are still looking for a wave 5 to the downside to at least take this low, observe the reaction as price can go deeper, especially with the target areas we have as well around here, 22, 23K. Very interesting. But first things first, take this low. On Bybit, this low has already been taken, as mentioned, over the past few weeks. So it would be nice for all the charts to align and take that same low. Now, if we then zoom in to this structure over here, there is a bearish scenario and there is a, well, first bullish and then bearish scenario, or of course the bullish scenario is continuation. That's why it's called bullish bearish. But if we zoom in to the bearish scenario over here, then what we are looking for is basically the high of 4 to be already in. So we are now looking from this high for an impulse to the downside, right? That's the most bearish scenario, because then we would be looking for wave 4 already being in blue, potentially 3, very short 4, 5, or we are still working on the bigger 3. Now, I might make it a bit complex now, but just to make things simple, we are looking for an impulse to the downside, whatever the waves are, because we look for an impulsive structure on the low time frame. This is the micro, and on the low time frame we are looking for continuation, meaning we want to see impulsive moves to the downside. In this scenario, we then have a 5-wave move to the downside. Last week, and I won't keep repeating it, but I at least want to mention it, this structure looks very much like a three-wave structure. So throughout the whole of last week, I was, after we got this bit of price action, I was not confident we were going to go to the downside in a wave 5 because the start looks so three-wave-ish. So for me, the probabilities, as mentioned basically throughout the whole week, was like, I would like to see a move to the upside, really. And also, if we look at the most bearish scenario on the chart and we forget this is a more like a three-wave looking structure and we just count it as an impulse and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we encounter a few problems for an impulsive structure. First of all, wave 4 has overlap with the low of wave 1, which is not what you want to see in a classic impulse where you then have to the downside 1, 2, 3, sideways 4, 5. No overlap allowed. If you see overlap between a 4 and 1, you have to think about diagonals. But a diagonal in this scenario is going to be an expanding diagonal, which is extremely rare. So therefore, the probabilities are not on the side of this being an impulse to the downside with then a wave 1, wave 2, and a continuation down in a wave 3, which increases the probabilities that everything that is happening here is part of a bigger corrective structure. Now, that doesn't mean that this move to the upside has to take this high, because if this is a WXY scenario, wave Y does not have to take the high of wave W, for example. But of course, we continue to observe. In the more bullish and then bearish scenario, which has therefore higher probabilities, we are looking at either a wave A or W, B or X, and then a C or Y to the upside. Now, in a wave A over here, you want to count a 5-wave structure, and then a 1, 2, 3, sideways 4, 5. And if I go to the 15, then you can see this move here then has to be a wave 4, which is very, very short, right? Wave 1 over here, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish a wave A, which then in this scenario is a 5-wave move, as you'd then be looking for a zigzag. So that doesn't look too great. It looks better as a 3-wave structure. However, if this is a 3-wave structure, maybe the zigzag 535 goes out the window. However, the count being a potential ABC does not, because we have to move wave B, because then you want to potentially look for flat scenarios in the 335. That's honestly not really preferred in my opinion, but nonetheless, we have to keep it on the chart, potentially then wave B over here. But if you look at time, this is quite a short structure, and then wave B is going to be massive. Now that is possible, just less likely, and we trade probabilities, right? So potentially interesting is that WXY scenario. Nonetheless, in both cases, usually a minimum target is the 0.618 taken from the low to the high to the low over here. And the 0.618, as you can clearly see, has not yet been hit. Now, if we do go for a flat scenario, price goes to the downside, of course, these targets move down as well. But the probabilities, as mentioned earlier, and I'll show Discord in a second, were higher for price to at least take this high and move to the upside and maybe continue, where these are interesting targets, especially in confluence with the more low time frame count over here, where you can see the yellow area is in confluence with the potential wave 4 target area 382 and the 05, as well as the monthly that we have over here. So yeah, a very interesting area, absolutely, that we have up there. And this was one of the reasons that for me also the probabilities were higher when price was ranging here in the morning to see a move to the upside, because we didn't even get close to the 0.618, which usually for corrective structures, if we're looking for 3 waves, is a minimum target. And the fact that this has lower probability of being an impulse down, we are looking for this to be part of a corrective structure, this to be part still of a corrective structure, meaning you usually want to see at least the 0.618 being hit. As long as this is not hit, probabilities are therefore higher to still find a move to the upside eventually. Doesn't mean that from here you go up, because in an expanding flat 335 you first move down, but with the bullish CVD the probabilities were higher to move up. So if we go to that local scenario, we zoom in where we also had bullish CVD, as I'll show in a second, then more locally you see 2 colors. You see red, you see green. Those were the things I were looking for. So if I remove green for a second, right, you could count, and this is the same as just explained, but actually more locally, if we are looking for this to be a 3-wave structure in potentially like an ABC or a WXY, you usually want to see at least the 0.618 being hit. Now, if you take a trend-based flip from the low to the high to this low over here, you can clearly see the 0.618 is not hit, meaning for me, the probabilities are lower that this is a 3-wave structure. Probabilities therefore increase that this is a first structure, this is a second structure, and we can expect another move up to have a third structure to the upside to at least hit the 0.618, which funny enough, price actually just did over here. So that is why I was looking for the green line instead of the red line, where you then have a move up, a three-wave corrective structure, and another move to the upside, which then either is an ABC, WXY, 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter, right? The probabilities, that's what we trade, were higher at the lows over here to see another move to the upside. And then, you know, one can potentially move long, of course. We also had the bullish CVD divergences over here. So, of course, interesting long in the end, especially from an Elliott Wave scenario, as well as bullish CVDs over here. Very, very interesting. And then depending on the move you get to the upside, you manage the trade, right? Risk management, trade management, very important. Now, locally here, we had bearish CVD divergences. And I can imagine people might be a bit confused about what I said, like, hey, we got bullish CVD. But you also saw probably bearish CVD when price moved up. So let me go over this section on the CVD chart before I then end the analysis and chat with you about everything I'm doing here. So over here, right, we have the high, lower highs on price, higher highs on the yellow CVD. I mean, clear as day, bearish CVD divergence. And every time it plays out, because every time the low is taken, which is the target, right? Move down, move up, bearish CVD, target is this low over here. Plays out as price then moves to the downside. So very, very interesting bearish CVDs playing out. But then you have this move to the upside over here. Price moving up. We have more bearish CVD divergences. They did play out as this low is taken. However, in general, and also again, once this move started to go to the upside, in general, the more CVD divergences you have with a particular pivot, this one over here, the lower the probabilities of it playing out. So the fact you can see over here, we have like 2 or 3 divergences with this pivot, as you know, each bump to the upside was met with, you know, more CVD divergences. The probabilities that over here CVD divergences, bearish ones, are playing out is lower, because this is like the 3rd or 4th CVD divergence. Now this one over here played out, but only as a wick, and price over here was still high. Look at the yellow line. Look how high the yellow line here is on the chart, right? Compared to the yellow line of this high. You can clearly see that the yellow line here is above my horizontal cursor line. So one could still judge, hey, we still have bearish CVD. It's just a probabilities game that, you know, the more bearish CVD, or in general, the more CVD divergences you get with one pivot, the lower the probabilities it plays out after previous ones have already played out. But if we then zoom out, then on blue, you can see higher low in price, but actually a lower low on the yellow CVD on blue. And that is a first divergence, because on the blue line, this is the first bullish CVD divergence with this low, which makes it very interesting. So we have 2 CVD divergences, the bearish one and the bullish one, but the bullish one is a first CVD divergence, and the bearish one over here is like a 3rd or 4th CVD divergence with the pivot. So the probabilities turn to the bullish CVD to play out. Plus, from an Elliott Wave perspective, as just explained, probabilities were higher in general to at least see another move to the upside, which eventually we got as well, which of course is very, very nice, because that's what we wanted to see. So now that we took this high over here, the bullish CVD has played out. So now the CVDs are neutralized. Basically, the bearish one can be removed. The bullish one can also be removed, as now we took the high, and now it's about trade management, seeing what's up. So basically, when going through the probabilities, which is actually something I didn't update on my chart, but the probabilities in general on the low time frame is to see another move towards the downside at least. But if we look more locally, then we were expecting at least another move towards the upside to at least hit that 0.618 eventually. Of course, if price is going to now do this, well, the 618 just goes down, because the scenario, the entries really were over here. This was a great trading setup, right? This was very nice from an Elliott Wave perspective, as well as with the CVD bouncing on the golden pocket here, very nice. And now that the CVD's played out, it's about trade management and see what happens next. But, you know, if you've traded this, maybe you already had to take profit 1, stop loss break even, whatever you've done. And now we patiently wait for the chart to show us what's next. So that is basically what I wanted to say. And of course, by the way, in the bullish scenario, you expect continuation, where this is then a wave 1, then you have a wave 2, and you want to see a bigger wave 3 to the upside. But it's way too early to really call bullish scenarios, because it is still bearish even when you go all the way to 27.8k. So you really want to see price move to 28.4k before you're really going to start about bullish scenarios. So I actually have no idea if you can hear the dogs. Those are neighbors. Those are not the dogs of the parents of my fiance. But we got some music in the background. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to explain to you. And if you want to quickly read some of the stuff, then I wrote this morning at 11 a.m. The time zone is the same, by the way. So I was talking about the divergences, and especially, you can stop the stream for a bit and just read this, where I explain the thoughts that I have together with over here. So I did the morning analysis. I also mentioned that below where price was, so below here, there's just not much support left. So if I open my Confluence folder, then we have a little bit of like a support resistance area. Oh, that's a mistake. So we have a little bit of a support resistance area over here, and we just test the one in the middle, which, as you can see, has been very important throughout the whole range. But this wick is important. This low, swing failure pattern, these two. And I don't really like to go below here again, because a swing failure pattern of a swing failure pattern preferably happens very quickly after, and not like after a long time. But then below this low, there is not too much left. You could potentially think about having another support resistance area over here with the candle closes, a touch there, and you have the 786, which you then pull from this low to this high. You toggle on the 786, so that's also here. But it's just, I don't have any point of controls. I don't have any swing failure pattern lows or any of the confluences I usually use. The value area low has already been hit of this range. I think the volume profile is a great tool currently, because you're in such a ranging state. But also here, the value area low has been hit. So, if you go down again, probabilities might increase to go down, especially if you go below the 25.6k level, 25.6, 25.7k level. So preferably, again, I wanted to first see a move up before potentially have a move to the downside. So also here, I said here, probabilities suggest a move to the upside, also with the first CVD, as I explained over here. And the other analysis I do afterwards in the morning very quickly was like the only 25.6, 25.7 was the only really support area we then have to the downside. This is about the 0.618, which I explained as well. We didn't even get close. So if this is a WXY, why it sucks, right? It's not high enough, in my opinion, which therefore increased probabilities to the upside. And this was the part with the blue or the green and the red line where, if this is an ABC, we didn't hit the 0.618, which lowers probabilities that we go down, increases probabilities that we move at least to the upside once more to take these highs, take it from there. So that's what I wanted. That's like the analysis part. So you now know the probabilities. Of course, any longs are against the bigger trend, so make sure you trade safe, especially if you have your it's actually funny, because for the people that so I just had my first ad ever on my own stream. I had no idea that was a thing, that I could actually have ads during a stream there. Because I'm watching the stream on my own phone just to keep track of your chat and see if the stream keeps working, because I only have one screen here in South Africa, being my laptop. And I just got an ad myself, which I skipped, obviously. So this is the analysis part. And now we go, of course, in the chatting part, talking about target boxes. By the way, this is an interesting resistance area that I at least want to show you as well, which is between 26.4k and 26.5k. So that's an interesting area where we have at least a small point of control of this range over here. So that's something to keep in mind, and a fib. But generally, if we look at my folders that I have, you can see it's pretty empty here where we are at the moment. Look, all my folders are on, right? Everything is on. But in general, you can see how empty it is around price. We just, by the way, hit the time naked point of control at 26.2, so a bit of a reaction, which is nice. We have a daily over here. So maybe I have to increase my target box slightly to the daily, which is nice. Additional confluence around here. But then to the upside, you see the monthly. To the downside, yeah, you know, time naked point of control, also around 25.7, but that's it. Like, it's not strong support. And then you go down all the way to the low 25s, 24. So, yeah, that is, no, I don't really have target boxes other than the one up here. So that's definitely an interesting resistance area for price. So that being said, let me open the chat and see what you guys are talking about. So what is up? And then, of course, if you have any questions, make sure to ask me. But first of all, I got questions about how is South Africa, because I am in South Africa. For the ones that don't know, I have a South African fiance. Yeah, of course, her family is from Cape Town, South Africa. So usually once a year, we are here for a couple of weeks so she can see her friends, see her family. And we will also marry next year in South Africa, Cape Town, because it's much easier for Europeans to go to South Africa, also because of the currencies, than the other way around. Besides, I wouldn't like a wedding in the Netherlands, honestly. I wouldn't. You know, I like more adventurous stuff, I suppose. So I love South Africa. It's such an amazing country. Love to marry here in Cape Town as well, at a very, very, very nice wine farm. It's going to be amazing. But also this holiday, for some of the questions, how is it and stuff, we got like also many appointments with different like vendors and people to go through stuff for the wedding as well, to make sure that, you know, this is the 3 weeks we have here is the last time we're in South Africa before the actual wedding. So this is the moment to talk with people, visit the wine farm, talk to everyone, and make sure everything is set for the wedding that we will have in March next year. So that also means you already know that in March next year, I'll be in South Africa again, because I will have the wedding. Oh boy. Oh man, getting old, 30 years old now. But yeah, South Africa is amazing. It's winter now, but I'm walking in a t-shirt, walking in shorts. It's currently, I don't even know, 20 something degrees, I suppose. It's winter, okay? It's winter. This is summer in the Netherlands. You can't really see it's white in the background, I believe, but this is like summer in the Netherlands. It's very nice. Okay, so thanks for this live stream. It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. From South Africa. I'm literally sitting next to the router here. This place is the second. It's an Airbnb from the parents of Ash, my fiance Ashley. So yeah, it's there's no one here now at the moment. Jean Lemour, welcome, man. Chaz, what's up? Bledo Ramstad, good afternoon. Robot, you weren't late. Can we start because it's all about me? You can go back in time. CC Pool, Robot. The value area low is also the high time frame value area low. The high time frame value area low. Now, I do have a few volume profiles. I actually wonder which value area low you mean. Let me actually go to the daily and also turn off all the point of controls and then select this range. So the value area low is now resistance of this whole structure over here. So this is not the right value area low you probably mean. This one then? What's up here? No, then we are already in the value area. So I'm not really sure which one you talk about in this case. I'm in Cape Town. To be more correct, I'm actually in Blouberg. So of course Cape Town and like Cape Town city center is about like 25 minutes drive, I suppose, from where we are. And so I'm now in Blouberg, which is such an amazing area for surfing, water activities. It's also, you know, it's a great area to be in. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice. So great stuff. Careful about don't answer, it's a trap. They're coming for me here. The local value area high is the high time frame value area low. Okay, yeah, that would be good. So that's some additional confluence as well. Absolutely. It's just interesting to have at least one more low because of this low already being taken on Bybit, but not on many other charts, including mine. And I know based on statistics from the past that the probabilities are very high to take this low because another chart has taken the low. So to align the different charts, probabilities are just very high that happens. It doesn't have to happen immediately, but the probabilities are very high to take this low first before a continuation to the upside. So that's also why a potential wave C for 5-wave move to the downside is such an interesting scenario. Currently has the higher probabilities versus the bullish scenario where this is an ABC and you move to the upside, where then 5 waves in wave C. 1.618 is a rare target for a wave C, not a common target in a zigzag ABC. The 1.618 is a common target for 3. So yeah, rare for C. For then now continuation to the upside, where on my chart you would then not take this low. It's all a probabilities game. Nothing is 100%. Anything can happen at any time, and we also trade the probabilities, of course. There's no certainties in trading. But yeah, probabilities suggest taking at least this low at 24,750. Congratulations. First the engagement ring, then the wedding ring, then the suffer ring. I actually never... Wait, let me take a screenshot of this. How do I... I'm going to send this to the dad of my fiance, which I will do afterwards. I'll just open it here. Let me open this on my, and so that I don't forget about it. There we go. First the engagement ring, then the wedding ring, and then the suffer ring. I like that one. That's brilliant. Probably one of the very old jokes, but man, I love it. Okay, there we go. We saw the biggest liquidations yet on some of the decentralized exchanges, so good chance the bottom is in. Info in Discord DMs if you want to see more later. Am I allowed to show the Discord DM Kagan on stream? Could be interesting. But it's just, from a probability standpoint, probabilities suggest that this over here is not a wave, so not a wave 1 to the downside. Also probabilities here, this is a very short wave 4, but it could be a 5-wave move. But Bybit took that low, and that's, and this looks currently very like, this could be, of course, then 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, and you're going to be looking for a bigger 3 to the upside again, but that means you really want to see a big push, because in the bullish scenario, right, we are looking then for, just let me quickly put this on the chart. Do I actually have this here? I don't think I, before the stream, put it on the chart. So then we have over here, we have wave 1 looking for 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because in the bullish scenario, you want to see continuation. Now, if we pull the fibs for a wave 2, we already hit the golden pocket. The 0.5 to the 786 is a common target for wave 2. So the golden pocket, touch once, twice, 3 times. That's a very nice target for wave 2. Also, between the common targets, 0.5 to the 786, the golden pocket is the most common target, which works very nicely. So it's now been hit 3 times over here, acting as support, which is good. 786 is still a wave 2. But that means that for a wave 2 usually is by probabilities wise, most commonly a short and deep corrective structure, most commonly a zigzag, which is a 5-3-5 wave move. So 5-3-5 ABC structure, which is not the case here, because this is not a 5-3-5 zigzag by itself over here. So then, and this is not even a 5-waver really. Looking at the probabilities as explained, this doesn't really look like an impulse to the downside, and a zigzag is an impulse correction impulse. So this looks more like a complex structure, which therefore gives higher probabilities. We are not yet finished with downside as well. If we're looking for the bullish scenario, now we're talking about the bullish one, right? So if this is a wave 1, this over here, for me, this has lower probabilities of being the low of wave 2, unless we talk about potentially WXYXZ or a WX and then a Y over here, and then this is a 1 followed by 2, the beginning of 3. Could that work? Yeah, that could work. That could work. And then this is 2, but then this is a 1. We retrace to the, okay, we also retrace to the local golden pocket. So yeah, then you want to see a wave 3. That could work, because this is then a 3, 3, and then potentially an ABC to the downside of some sort, right? To the golden pocket. But yeah, the thing is, in a wave 3, you really want to see continuation, like quick move up. If this is a 1 and this is now a 2, and we take a fib time of the first wave 2 and then compare it with the second, then the second wave, yeah, that's where the shittery starts, right? So this is a higher degree wave 2, and if this is a wave 1 and this is another wave 2, this second wave 2 is longer in time than this wave 2. Let me double check if I did that correct as well, just to make sure. Yeah, so lowers the probabilities that this is currently like part of a 1-2 and this is another 1-2 for continuation, but it's all probability. So just what you want to see is upside. And actually that's the reason why I didn't go in the bullish scenario really, because in the bearish scenario, preferably you're still going to be looking for upside as well. So depending on the move you get to the upside, you can then assess the probabilities of, hey, you know, are we going further to the upside? Is bearish scenario going to be invalidated? Are we going to see continuation or not? Because even in the bearish scenario, you preferably want to see at least the 0.618 being hit, not directly, right? There can be many different structures to reach a level like that. We have the target box here as well. It's just that, you know, more upside where we were earlier this morning over here had by far the highest probability, which, you know, I then you know, explained in this section, because I didn't have the time to actually record a video. But while I'm doing my analysis in the morning, when I have the time to do so, I can at least put it over here in the silver section, that is, and then when I have time I can record, which I do now, of course, because we were out and about earlier today. Holy moly. Do you think for macro, what's up, Michel or Mikel Kovac? Do you think for macro to go first up to the 40-50 and then go down to 10K? Well, the macro, of course, yesterday was Sunday. Usually Sunday, 7 p.m. I update you guys with a fresh new macro and high time frame analysis. But because on Saturday I was in the airplane for 12 hours, and on Sunday, it's the first time we then see the family again after a long period of time. I had there was no chance I was going to be able to, you know, provide any content. So on the macro, there's two scenarios, and we don't yet have to think about 10K, 9K, and also not about 100K, because on the macro, if we look at the macro bullish scenario, we are expecting upside, right? You want to see price moving to the upside. By the way, nothing changed compared to my previous macro analysis. So if you go to my channel, and I quickly shut down my video that's coming up. Oh wait, we're live. Okay, so there's no video. And you scroll down, go to the Bitcoin macro Elliott Wave videos. Just click on the one of 7 days ago. It didn't change, right? So that was another reason for me to spend time with the family, because the scenarios haven't changed. Check out this video over here, which will give you all the info about what I'm looking for on a high time frame and macro level, and also gives you a bit more insight into, you know, what this is and what I use it for, and the structure to the upside. And it's a bit of an educational and a proper high time frame macro video. It took a bit more time to make it because I knew I was going to go to South Africa 1 week later. But basically what we are looking for in a bullish scenario, you want to see price moving up, right? Clearly. But in the macro bearish scenario, preferably, we are also still looking for another move up, make people even more bullish, right? Go to that 39 to 50K area and then look for downside. But it all depends on how price moves to the upside, right? And we don't have that information yet. So we have the information of this structure, and if we look at this structure, then at the moment it's not going up like very quickly compared to previous structures. If you compare them, which I do in that big, you know, in the high time frame macro video, volume is not that great. The low of 2 is made above the 0.5 before the 0.382, which is not really what you want to see if it's a correction of a bigger impulsive structure. But it's all probabilities, and for me, I always say, you know, I'm neutral, because for me, really, what matters is if we get that move to the upside, what is it going to look like? What is it going to do volume-wise? How's the push going to be? And also, you want to see 5 waves before reaching this area. If you only see a 3-wave structure and you're already in here, or maybe at the 786, probabilities increase for continuation, because there you expect a 4 or 5, and you know you go up. So it very much depends on for me, like the area we have here, and locally, I preferably still see another low at least before continuation for then a C up, and then we wait and see what happens here, right? So yeah, that's basically it. Oh wait, or possibly go down first to 10k. Now, currently for me the probabilities are higher. Also, I also explained this, by the way, in the high time frame macro video, which is the reason it was a bit longer than usual. For me the probabilities are higher. This is a new structure, and in the bearish scenario, this is then a 5-wave A, 3-wave B, looking for 5-wave C, and then down. So not yet going down to 10k already. I prefer to see first another high, or I prefer, probabilities suggest, because whatever I prefer, who cares what I prefer? It's about probabilities regarding Elliott waves, which are higher at the moment, to have another low, have another high, and then we wait and see how price comes to these levels. Or we could just range between 25, 45 till the mid. Yeah, absolutely. That's a big ass range. I mean, if you trade ranges, that's of course a brilliant range. But 25, 45k is a very big, very big price range. So it can, of course, absolutely range it. Just like here, you can say this is a range, right? This is a macro range over here, but trading the range until it breaks. I mean, if you're a swing trader, this might be a fun range, but it's not. I don't really, trade such ranges on such high time frames. I prefer to go to the lower time frames, but we can definitely be between, what is it, you said 25k over here and then 45k. I mean, with a dip below, dip above, really, if you think about a range, then really the range is going to be between this low and the high, right? That would be the pivots I would take, and not really the 25k pivot, this one, as we still, from an Elliott Wave perspective, expect another move down before up. So 25k is not really the level I look for, really. That's the wrong window. I need this one. My wife isn't watching TF. Time frame. I don't know what TF is. Dimension of the buy bid low taken the previous low is a claim to assume we have to take it on other charts. However, that is a direct exchange. Coinbase is spot, so liquidations are targeted. Doesn't matter. It's all probabilities. So I don't look at that stuff. It's just a probabilities game. And based on my recording of probabilities in the past about taking the lows on different exchanges like Coinbase, Bybit, Coinbase, Bybit. I did Binance. I had, what were the other? I gotta check my file. So at least these three. FTX was included in the past, but hey, well, FTX is gone. But based on probabilities, the probabilities are higher to take the low. I don't care about it's a spots, it's futures, it's liquidation heavy, it is wiki, it's it's probabilities, and a probability suggests you take this low after Bybit takes the low. But there's always probabilities. You just move to the upside, and in that case, you're going to be bullish. You want to be buying till the moon, right? You want to see price moving to the upside. So then on the lower time frames, what you want to see is this being a wave one, because if you say, of course, for the bulls, this is the low, this is going to be your wave one. You want to see a wave two and continuation in a bigger wave three to the upside, right? You want to see a big impulse. So the only thing I look at is probabilities. I don't really care about the background of the exchanges and all that stuff. I want to look at probabilities because statistics give me probabilities that I can trade. And based on those probabilities, the probabilities are higher to take this low on the different charts because Bybit did. But if you have your own analysis and we look to the upside, there's always probabilities that this is the low and we're going to look for upside. And if we get the signs for that to happen, then we switch perspective and we switch probabilities, because it's not about, so I don't care if price is 100k or 1k. I just trade it. I really don't care. I don't have a spot bag or a holding bag. I'm a trader. And I don't care if price goes down or price goes up. If my entry requirements are hit that I have for myself, I enter. I don't care if it's a downtrend and I go long, or a long trade, or a short in a uptrend. once my entry requirements are hit, I enter, and then we see what happens after. So I'm not impacted by any bias, as I don't care where price goes. It's just from an Elliott Wave perspective and the probabilities that I record, because I do record probabilities, at least with my strategy now, but in the past with all the different tools I had and highs and lows and all that stuff, it's just a probabilities game. So probabilities suggest another low, but nothing is certain. So it's not 100% probabilities, right? It's just that higher probabilities are for another low, and we will wait and see if that will happen. The daily level is exactly at the 618, which is also right around my target box over here. And I think one of the confluences in that target box is the golden pocket. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, golden pocket. Actually, I have to include daily now, by the way. There we go. Let's see what happens on the CVD here locally, by the way. 3 minutes. So we have to push to the upside. Bit of bearish CVD at the high, but this already played out as we got this red candle to the downside. Again, some bearish CVD here. Price moving down, yellow line moving up. However, in general, you can see how quickly the yellow line moved down. Do we have... You do have bullish CVD divergences with this little range on the low time frame, like 3 minute range here. Higher low on price, lower low on the yellow CVD. So that's a bullish CVD divergence. And we also have a bullish CVD now with this low. Higher low in price, lower low on the CVD. So let's see if price can find continuation. This is 3 minute stuff. And we are, of course, one could argue at resistance as price took this high. But, this was an interesting area for entries, really. Not just because, hey, Koen, it's the law of the move, but this is literally where, that's where, price was earlier this morning. So it's not just in hindsight stuff. But in general, probabilities when price was still ranging here, and I was writing stuff. Now, bullish CVD, Elliott Wave perspective suggested at least another move up. CVD target is this high. This was an interesting area for sure. But hey, if your plan and requirements are hit, one should always just take the trade. In 2015, the retest to the lows weren't on all exchanges, and we took off in 2017. Market. Exactly, yeah, it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. So this could be the low, and you could move to the upside, and then that's it, right? We move to the upside. But then again, its probabilities are not on the side of that happening. So is it possible? Yes. But for me, with the probabilities, it's just a lower probability move. But if it happens and we then change the bias, the Elliott Wave scenarios are going to show that upside now becomes higher probability, then we're going to look, of course, for potential setups to the upside. But as long as, the bearish scenarios are not even getting close to being invalidated, also locally, could this be a wave 1 to the upside? Yes. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, very, very short 4, and then a wave 5. It looks a bit better as a 3 waver than a 5 wave move, but this is then your 4, this is your 5, because that's what you want to see. This is your wave 1, this is your 2, and you want to see a big 3 to the upside. But from an Elliott Wave point of view as well, as long as there's not like clear signs for price to move to the upside with the waves being formed and potentially invalidations for the bearish scenarios being hit, together with the other information, the probabilities remain to the downside till we switch. So the moment we do see what you say and potentially the low is in, we're going to find price moving to the upside. Depending on how it moves to the upside, we could potentially look for the low to be in and higher prices. So that would be interesting as well, as you would catch many people out. But then again, for me, I have my entry strategy and my trading strategy, which is not related to, like, I just have certain entry requirements, and only when all of the entry requirements are hit, I enter. The risk to reward ratio I usually trade is 1 to 3 because it has the best statistical advantage. Most profit versus amount of trades and win rate is a 1 to 3 in my strategy. With always a I can trade longer targets, but then I need to see some other entry requirements. So yeah, I don't look. Yeah, I don't really have. I don't care if it goes up or down. I care about volatility and my entry requirements being hit. But I'm on holiday now, so I don't trade because that's a rule I have. So at the moment I'm on holiday, I can't really focus 100% on the chart because I'm out and about, and so yeah, absolutely possible. Potentially here, 2015, 2017. It is a 2-year gap, and maybe now again. So, but yeah, probabilities do have to, they have to change really. Because even on the higher time frame, we're then looking for this to be an ABC to the downside. What's this white box over here? Oh wait, macro scenario. Because in the bullish scenario, we are then looking for this to be a 3-wave structure to the downside in an ABC, right? This is then a zigzag. Because if you're looking at this as a big impulse, as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you would always expect another low to be made. So you're then going to look at this as a zigzag. 1.618 is a rare target for C, a common target for 3. So that's already a probabilities to the downside. Of course, we can just move up because the wave C, there are probabilities for this to be a wave C target and up. It's just that probabilities become higher once the 1.618 is hit for a wave 3. Doesn't say it's impossible. There's no certainty. So this is a target nonetheless for a wave C in the bullish scenario. You want to see continuation. If we zoom out, in the bullish scenario, you want this to be a zigzag because this is the low, you move up, which then means that on the medium time frame, you are going to be looking for this, a WXY. Now W here very much looks like a nice zigzag to the downside. Then we have wave X as a flat, and then you're going to be looking for either a WXY or whatever to the downside, depends on where you put the pivot over here, right? But a zigzag in W and a zigzag in Y in a WXY sideways double combo is not what you want to see. It's very, very rare and actually officially not really allowed, where you want to see a WXY, where if W is a zigzag, Y is a triangle or a flat. Well, it's not a triangle, it's not a flat. Can this be a double zigzag? Yes, but it's extremely uncommon. A double zigzag in a sharp, so what you then want to see is a sharp move down. This is a double zigzag WXY, but you can see it's not a sideways. So there's differences here. We have a sideways double combo WXY, but a sharp zigzag, double zigzag, a sharp double zigzag is also called a WXY. But a sharp double zigzag is, or a double zigzag as it's also just called without the sharp. There's a reason you usually call it a sharp WXY because, this is what you want to see. Structure is, and actually that's what I spoke about with John actually in the group recently as well, when we were talking about WXYs. Let's see if I can just find it like this. Not sure. Let's scroll down a bit. Oh yeah, here. This is the we were talking about this in the group as well. So people can check that conversation out. 24th. So it's 4 days ago. And if you go to this area, oh yeah, this is where I entered and started. Where's my summary? Oh yeah, here. So you can have a look at this. This is between a sideways double combo WXY and a double zigzag WXY, right? So a couple of differences between them. So this message, 24th of August at 3:44, which is Central European time zone. LJ, don't. I was correct there. Yo, the opslag. Welcome. So yeah, it's it would be nice though. I mean, we've been in a very long sideways range for such a long time. Of course, we've been in a downtrend. So seeing a move up, invalidating the bearish scenarios would be very interesting. Catching many people out that are looking for lower prices, but yeah, probabilities at the moment are not yet on the side for that to happen. But this, look, was a great long setup, really. Very, very interesting. So even though probabilities might be for eventually another move down, more locally they were for a move up. And if that is the low and you now go up, then holy moly, you're in a great trade. But yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Because there's no right or wrong, there's just probabilities. And sometimes it's 80-20, 90-10, 50-50, 40-60. Yeah. All probabilities. Do you also take hidden divergences into account? No, because I don't trade RSI. And CVD does not have hidden divergences. Like you could like compare it with RSI and say there might be hidden divergences, but those are not at all taken into account with CVD. So CVD is only absorption exhaustion, and you always trade the absorption. Of course, not always, because it depends on the context, extra confluences. You know, you can't trade every bullish and bearish CVD divergence. You need to know the context and stuff. But using CVD does not have hidden. It's only absorption or exhaustion. Ways of the Jedi. Welcome, man. Good to see you around. Can you show us your strategy? No, because, you know, it's been a 2-year, more than 2-year grind to develop the strategy. A lot of money was lost as well as gained eventually. But if I teach it, I will do it. I will do so in a membership status where people can learn it. Because the thing is, I want people to properly teach. And yeah, it's just, you know, I know this, I have so many statistics of the strategy. I know the profitability. I know everything. And in the end of September, I will open it up. So I will teach people my personal trading strategy. But it's about teaching. It's teaching them the strategy, and also with the statistics, you know, I have, and also how to build your own profitable trading strategy. Whenever my strategy, it's actually in Discord. So over here, it's going to be Diamond Lounge, setups of the strategy, some live trading, you know, strategy related, and then we have other. We have downloads as well with statistics here. So, you know, recording statistics of different tools, the journal that I use myself as well. So I'm preparing stuff, and yeah, it's very good. It's very good so far. So that will launch at the end of September. CVD bullish divergence from 25th to now on the 1 hour. 25th. Yeah, but these already played out. So these are now neutralized because you took the high, and the high is the target over here between the two lows. Higher low in price, lower low on the CVD. This is the target, which got taken now. So the bullish CVD divergences are now neutralized and not active anymore. Unless you see them on the 3-minute, that would count. If all of the recent weekend volume is stacked on the point of control, then we went up and hit the X100 liquidations, went down and hit the 100 licks, going up to hit the 50. On the daily, where are the liquidation stacks? On the daily, yeah, and the daily is right here, 26.4K-ish, where, you know, that's an interesting resistance area. Would definitely be interesting to see what price does in this area, and if price can go above this area, then the next point of interest really, you know, the monthly at 27.2 is definitely interesting. Very, very interesting level. We dumped through it over here on the left side, right? But it can still act as resistance. I do the same with my target boxes. If my target box, you know, usually it provides at least a bit of resistance, but if it is then broken, I always keep it on the chart, but I turn it white because then I know it's been broken, first of all. And second, it can act then as support for continuation. That's something I see quite often with the boxes that I have on my chart. The US Open could get spicy. Oh, which is right now. Bledu Ramstad, thank you, Koen. Rest easy. Thanks, man. Thank you. I mean, honestly, like doing live streams, YouTube. Of course, I have my other work-related stuff, as I have, you know, my other business-related things. Not YouTube. I got other business stuff, other businesses, I should say. So it's more like a holiday from that, I suppose, because, I mean, my hobby is my work and everything I do. So really, you know, I'm always on holiday. Sidiums, nice view, sir. Thank you. I don't know if you mean the webcam or the chart, but I mean, it is nice and sunny, and it's winter here, by the way. makes it less. Yeah. Douwe, in Discord, we have the good to know channel, where over here, besides downloading the template and instructions regarding CVD, also up here with the website, I also have the one pager, which is kind of all you need to know about CVD and trading it. So this is a very useful one pager in Discord that you can just download over here. CVD one pager, very, very useful. Thank you from India. India, nice, other side of the world. Well, I mean, if we from like, I'm now on the other side of the world vertically, but then horizontally as well, I suppose. Inner Oru Tagava, welcome. Good to see you around. Okay, so New York open now. See if anything happens, right? So where price is now, besides the high that we have, is that a, yes. We wicked the high, very nice. Bullish divergences played out, cool. But other than that, there's not too much like going on in general in this whole range now, like for what I use. So horizontals, we also reached the value area high, it seems. Like over here we have a daily, so I'll just put it on the chart again, some of the stuff. So daily up here, time naked point of control has been hit, but usually a single time naked point of control or a single level in general is not that strong. I like confluences. So, but at least it gave a reaction, can be traded. But that's the reason I didn't have a target box here. It's just the time naked point of control, the value area high. Okay, that's something, but I prefer also from an Elliott Wave point of view to see some upside, which doesn't have to go directly. Can of course go in waves. But there, the daily 26.4 is definitely interesting, absolutely. So I think the volume profile of this range is definitely an interesting one to keep on the chart. Trade the range until it breaks, as they tend to say. But yeah, time naked point above and below. Above has been hit. This is the current week. Oh no, wait. This is a new week, so the current weekly is invalidated actually. But this is also the current monthly naked point of control at 26.050. So the monthly naked point of control, the current monthly naked point of control went down from this area over here at 29K to now over here at 26.05, which is definitely interesting. So it shows that volume is moving with price to now the downside here. So that also means that since the 18th of August, this range provided more volume than all the days before the 18th of August. So in 10 days, there's been more volume in this range from this month than the 17 days prior to this range. Always interesting to know. Small bull flag. Yeah, we also have these bullish CVDs here. And I got a little spider on my screen. And now it's not on my screen anymore. Yeah, we also had the bullish CVD divergences mentioned earlier in the stream here. So higher low price, lower low and yellow, but also locally, higher low price, lower low and yellow. Even on blue as well, right? Higher low price, lower low and blue. Interesting for some continuation to the upside. I would be interested to see what price does around the daily. I mean, in general, I'd be interested, but I don't trade during my holiday. Let me turn the levels off here. Tuck, 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 tuck. Is this on extend right? There we go. So continuation would definitely be interesting. Wicking the highs here. Bit of a bit of a range, but then you see starting, build some bullish CVD divergences locally, could increase the probabilities again for price to take this high again. At least it does. I mean, it's all probabilities. I think if this is taken, we go for that one, and then very likely you're going to end up over here, where we then do have some resistance. So it will be interesting to see how price reacts once it then hits that area. Now, it's not about me I can trade. I have access to everything. I have internet and a laptop, so I can trade at any moment. It's just that I have a rule set for myself that when I am on holiday, I do not take a single trade, because I like to focus on, when I'm trading and stuff. I wanna focus on the chart. And now that I'm on holiday, I'm gonna be out and about. Like now I'm here doing a live stream, but later we're gonna be at the beach. I don't have any internet then, or like I do have actually a SIM card. We bought a SIM card, but I don't have it in my phone yet because I actually don't really want to be online. But it's just in case. If I have to send a message and I don't have Wi-Fi, I can. But I try to be offline as well. Just zoom out from the charts. Yeah, I try to not trade at all. Bitcoin sent Andy. First of all, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Also, sorry for not yet responding on Telegram. I saw your message, but then you're in an airplane for 12 hours. You arrive here. Then you have the family stuff on the whole day, and now today is Friends Day as well. So I still have to reply to your Telegram. So I'm sorry for the delay. Things are a bit more complex when I'm on the other side of the world, but I appreciate you hanging out here at least. Great analysis. One of the only for crypto YouTube channel. I like to see analysis and view of the market. Keep it up. Thank you, man. And also, if Dutch is here, thanks, Dutch, for connecting Andy and myself with each other. I appreciate it. But yeah, Andy, welcome, man. Thanks for at least spending some seconds here in the chart, writing your message. That's amazing. I don't like when we think about crypto, trading, and I think this is actually quite an important topic, really. Trading can be very lonely, right? So of course I have other businesses. I'm a global keynote speaker. I see many people. But trading wise, it's difficult for me to really share it with people because my friends don't trade, my fiance doesn't trade, but my fiance is very interested. She's very supportive. So that's always good. But my dad invests sometimes, but it's not like there's not really any other people I know that trade, if you know what I mean. So it can be a very lonely type of industry, I can imagine, if you're a full-time trader and that's the only thing you do. So yeah, it's great to, first of all, be part of a community, which is the community we now have on the channel. But also, when Dutch said like, hey, you want to, I'm a moderator, I'm a mod at Andy Bitcoin Senses. I checked up Andy, his channel, which is great, by the way. And he said like, I can get you two in touch. I'm like, absolutely, right? Would be great to get to know some people around, and maybe one day we'll see each other in real life, not only Andy and I, but also people from the community. We can do some offline stuff. That would be amazing. Connect with one another, do some teaching, sharing, trading, all the fun stuff. But yeah, Andy, cool to see you around. Thanks. That's great. It brings a smile on my face to see Andy here as well. YouTuber royalty. By the way, if you don't know Andy Bitcoin Senses, he's still there in my search. You can check out his channel, of course. Maybe you already know him. Maybe some of you are actually watching him very actively as well, right? So I gotta say, with my Koenz Trading channel, I'm actually not subscribed to any other influencers online, because that is my, like, Koenz Trading, for the ones that want to know, is really my trading channel. I only have YouTube. I don't follow anyone, but I also have another account, which is my, well, it used to be my professional gaming channel in the past, and some gaming content and whatnot. But with this channel, I'm subscribed to people, including Andy. Once I learned about Andy, one like live stream last week, I'm now subscribed to Andy as well on my other YouTube account. So make sure to check him out. And what I actually like about your videos is Andy talks normal, if you know what I mean. We have like the Moon Boys that are always shouting and very excited, and the moon is the next target, and I don't know what, but he's a realistic. It's not necessarily the word. He's a realist. I suppose that's the word I'm looking for, right? So that's what I like, the way of presenting. Some longer videos, which I enjoy as well, to go a bit more in depth. But I just like the way of talking. It's just normal pace, tone. It's not going crazy and oh, today I bought another Rolex. You know, all that shit. I prefer normal, I suppose. How's it, bro? Your TXM. What's up? How you doing? I'm doing very well. Very well. Like, you know, it's been great so far here. I mean, honestly, it's only the second day. So, you know, I really arrived Saturday night. Sunday was basically day one. And this is day two, but it's been great. We came back just now from some friends. My fiance is now here doing her hair and, you know, beauty stuff. So, but it's all hair. She's done her nails this morning. Right now, she's doing her hair. She's a blonde. She's gonna do some balayage, a little bit of cutting, getting some extensions, because she also wants to test some stuff for the wedding that we have in March, which now she has the opportunity, because then at the same hairdresser she wants to do her hair as well. So of course I don't know her look. You know, I'm not allowed to know, but yeah, she's currently at the hairdresser, which takes hours, guys, hours for the boys here, for the guys here. Come on, you know, we are in and out in max 30 minutes, no? Or maybe if you do your beard and whatnot, might be a bit longer. Honestly, when I go to the hairdresser, of course my hair is short, so maybe that makes life easier. But I actually went to the hairdresser before I went on holiday. I was in and out, or at least if I don't count the waiting time I had shortly. But basically, I was sitting on the chair for 25 minutes, maybe 25, and I was done. Maybe even less, I don't know. Clip, finished. Mustafa, Dutch message. Veel plezier daar op vakantie. Best is geen trades inderdaad. Tijdens vakantie kan je lekker genieten. Anders denk je alleen maar aan de lopende trade die je hebt. Yeah, so Mustafa is right as well that, you know, if you are trading, you also, you know, with your mind, you might not be in your holiday. You might be thinking about the trade you have running and the price that's moving, instead of actually enjoying your holiday. So it's good to also disconnect in some way. But I love trading. I love the, you know, YouTube. I try to really provide value to still the members, and of course everyone in public YouTube, trying to at least make content when I can. And now I can, so I make content because I love it. This doesn't feel like, you know, this is like holiday for me as well. John Howard, what's up? Your message has been retracted, but how you doing, John? How you doing? Actually, John, recently on stream we had the, of course on Discord, we were talking about the ABC flat with wave B then not being allowed to be a flat, right? I actually spoke about it in stream as well, and I went through the whole conversation. So can imagine many people have been checking our conversation in the question sections in Discord about the wave B being yes or no allowed in a bigger flat, which of course, considering the probabilities, should be very unlikely, and other scenarios are preferred. It's not impossible, but how many cases of castle? Castle? How many? Are you talking? Oh wait, you're talking about wine here, or I don't know what castle is. My view. Hello, your full name, please. I will not give you my full passport name, but I will be honest that finding me online is not very difficult because of my other business and history in the gaming and esports industry. So my name, first of all, is Koen with a K, and then it's Schobbers. And if you want to know how to write it, you'll find it very easily online, because it's basically, you know, if you Google Koenz, you will find, you know, lots of stuff, because I've in the gaming and esports industry, which I'm now in for about like 17 years. I started in 2006, so yeah, that's like my background, where I enjoy, if that's the right word, you know, higher positions, I suppose. So yeah, I'm quite easy to find. Thanks for the shout out and kind words. We'll shout you out in the live stream so people check out your great work. Thank you, man. If you are live, I'll try to hop in as well. Do you have set times? Wait, can I? live. Let's see if there's a rhythm here. 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, 8 days, 9 days. Okay, so basically each day or each 2 days in the bare minimum. Because of course 2 days ago I was in an airplane for 12 hours, so that was a no-go. So basically 13, 10, 9, 8. So sometimes every day 5. So yeah, each like 2 days basically doing a live stream. The last one was 2 days ago, so actually today or tomorrow might be one. I have to keep an eye on the notifications on my phone to arrive be there in the live stream. FIB time 1-to-1. Oh yeah, the big FIB time. I think you mentioned that in Discord, right? There's a very, very high time frame FIB time today. By the way, thanks everyone for chatting in Discord, because now you are the ones that also keep me up to date, because I don't have all the time to check the charts, of course, and you know, constantly have a look at what's happening, because I might not have Wi-Fi and stuff. But when I have time in the early morning, for example, or later at night, I check the Discord as well, and I then look at what you guys have been writing, which is very useful for me. So now roles are reversed. You know, you guys are updating me instead of me updating you. So this is IDFK, great member in Discord. Dutchie, living in Rotterdam. He's an entrepreneur as well. He has another business in the Netherlands. IDFK, great member. And yeah, he has very, very high time frame FIB times today. He said it's confluence. What did he say? Both yellow and green pools lining up for the 28th, which is today. So the green pool taken from the 2018 low to the all-time high, and the yellow pool is 2015 low to the 2018 high to then the end of 2018 low here. And then the 1.618 and I guess the 0.618, I can imagine. Actually, can you hear the dogs? Those are like the neighbors, not the dogs of... they are singing, man. Castle is a beer. Aha! Well, there goes my, you know... I don't have any knowledge about beer because I don't really drink any beer, really. I drink Radler. I don't know if you know Radler. Like, I do. Like this, Radler, Amstel Radler. 0.0 usually. It's not that yeah, beer is very bitter. I never really got into beer, but I love the cider aspect, I suppose, of Radler, which is very good. I really enjoy Radler when it's sunny and it's good, but they don't have it in South Africa. Yeah, this is amazing. If you're in the Netherlands, you can try. I don't know where, you know, other places really where they have it. Probably they have it in Germany and other European countries, but they don't really have it in South Africa. So, but it's more like a cider, but it's less bitter. I never really got into beer. I'd never really drink alcohol, really. Not because I can't or, you know, because it's, you know, any health thoughts about it. It's just never really was interested. Same, you know, I don't smoke, rarely ever drink. I don't know. Never really got into that stuff. I actually don't drink coffee as well. I don't know. I never got, because coffee is also one of those things, just like beer, like you have to get into it. You have to drink it, right? Start light, go harder, I suppose. I never really got into coffee as well. Now, coffee, of course, considering like, you know, caffeine and stuff can be very helpful energy-wise and whatnot. But I just never really got into drinking coffee. Of course, smoking is through my parents. No one smokes in my family, so I guess I just grew up not smoking. Besides, it's not healthy, so I mean, that's very clear. Same with alcohol, but only if it's too much, I suppose. But in general, I don't know. I've never really been into all that stuff. I mean that when you guys get ready, it's 1-to-1 and girls take extra long. Oh, okay. Robot was making the, I suppose, inside joke with the hairdresser moment. If we are the 1-to-1, then the girls are in the hairdresser at least to the 2.618 FIB time. Twice as long and a bit. I got it now. As a Germany, after Radler is no alcohol. Yeah, exactly. Usually they don't really say Radler is beer. It's more like a cider. Same here in Hungary. Yeah. Try Hunter's Dry in South Africa. Radler like. Oh, wow, I'm actually going to write this one down. We go to the beach tonight, so they might actually have it at the club. Let me write this down here. I want to try as well. I'm also going to... Okay. What is it? Hunter's Dry. Hunter's Dry. Okay, there we go. Message from Bigger MC. Okay. Well, one thing is for sure, if I'm going to order a Hunter's Dry, I'm going to post it in Discord and in Instagram story. So for the ones that don't know, like on Instagram store, like I have an Instagram account, first of all, link in the description, but I do post stuff on Instagram about what's happening here in South Africa for the ones interested. Randlelwa just got back from Zakynthos in Greece. So nice. My brother has been there twice now, by the way. Also, these local bullish CVD divergences have played out as this high got taken, okay? So you don't have these bullish CVD divergences here, higher low in price, lower low in yellow and blue, they have played out. So they are neutralized. So let's see what happens now more locally. You could say we do have over here with this little range, high low in price, lower low in yellow. Might be some bullish CVD divergences. But as I always say, I do prefer to see CVD divergences on the right side of a new high or a new low, which is on the right side of this high, meaning the price action over here. We had some bullish divs here. They played out. Very nice. We also had some bearish divs here on yellow, lower high price, higher high yellow. They played out. Very nice, right? So, and then we wait and see what happens. Now we have some bearish CVD again, no? Lower high, higher high in yellow. It's not really what you want to see. Blue shows bullish CVD, so now we have a mix. Lower high on price, higher high on the yellow CVD, that's bearish, which has already played out because this low has been taken. And now on blue, higher low in price, lower low in blue. But yeah, a bit of a mix. Price moving down, see what happens. Keeping an eye on my phone as well, just to see if my fiance has been messaging me. No, she's still at the hairdresser. She is still sitting at the hairdresser. Enjoying her time. Enjoying her time. People playing with the hair. So, New York Open. What you gonna do? Oh wait. In Greece, in the early hours, and their fix, Mythos and Mamos beers are very good. I'm actually not sure. Can I show this on YouTube? I guess, right? I mean, beer, alcohol, I suppose. Okay, so this is Mythos. Is this like lemony as well? This is a like 720. It's not a sharp picture, but looks. Man, what's up? Ah, there we go. Fix Mythos. Are those like cidery as well, or is this? Oh, that's the wrong tab. Yeah. So, by the way, for the ones that just got in, I don't have a 2-screen setup here, so I do everything on one screen, making life a little bit more difficult. So that's why I sometimes click the wrong screen, or I also put the chat in my window now because I don't have a second screen with the chat. Hello, I still have a question. The question is, the high on the 13th of April 23 is for me is a C. It doesn't get thematrics for an A or 1, even as a diagonal. The high on the 13th of April 23 is an A or a C. That's probably this one. Yeah, that is, if that's based on your analysis, that's good, right? So if you have this over here, this pivot, as the high of an A or a C, then that's good, right? I mean, in my analysis. So everyone, of course, maybe has a different view, but based on my Elliott Wave knowledge, wait, that's not this one here. A or 1. I don't really regard this as a C, because if this is a wave C, right, which finishes, as you say, then here, and you're still bearish, you prefer to see impulsive moves to the downside, or, you know, and now you have a new low over here, or high, sorry. So this high took this high. You like, yeah, you could have on a high time frame, look, this is low probability stuff, but you could have a 3-wave move ABC to start a corrective structure. That is then a W, then you get an X and a Y. But then you are, because you have a flat here, you already start thinking about a double combo and not a sharp move down if this is a W. So if this is now a W, you're going to be X, Y. So it's going to be a sideways move, and you're not going to reach new lows with an expanding flat start. Because you want to see impulses down then, or a sharp zigzag maybe, but yeah, preferably you know, if this is a flat ABC, then you're going to be a W over here, W, and then you have X, and then you have Y, because, you know, double combo is a sideways against the trend structure, after which you expect continuation. So where's the message? Oh wait, for me it's a C. Oh yeah, I mean, I just explained. If this is a C for you, that's of course all good. My probabilities are different based on my Elliott Wave knowledge, that this is a new structure in an A or a 1. So if this is a wave C, this is the end of something, and preferably in the bear market you're then in, you want to see sharp moves to the downside. But look how long we've been ranging here, right? So from the all-time high, look how sharp we went down, and then we went sideways, sharp downside, you know. But if this is then the high, you want to, again, like, you want to see sharp moves, right? And look how long we've been going sideways. And if this high over here at 31K, the second one, right, that's made in June, if this high is not your end, which is also very difficult to count in general, to make this your high of a 5-wave structure from the low, but, you know, outside that, this high now took this high. So you're going to be automatically thinking about a flat structure to go down. If this is your high of C, this is then an ABC or whatnot, WXY. But then you're immediately going to think about a double combo structure, which is a range and not a deep move. So, you know, you're not going to find new lows in a WXY over here. You're only going to find new lows if you get sharper moves down. And preferably, if this is the high of your C, you didn't take this high again, right? You want to see a move down instantly. Either in an impulse or zigzag structures, or, you know, something like that, because you can have a triple zigzag structure like this, 3 waves, but starting with a flat, if this is the high of your C, gives low probabilities that, well, you know, we go down, gives higher probabilities, you're going to find more upside. It's in the end all a probabilities game. So nothing is 100%, everything is possible in trading, but yeah, it's probabilities. Hello, there we go. Wait, is it a UK bank holiday? Yes, it's a day off. I see. So holiday in the UK. So I mean, London session was still interesting, because that's where the long trade was, and the divergences, CVD divergences as well. Wanted to take a quick look. I wish you a nice holiday. Thank you for the update. Checking it later on. Yo, Marcus, welcome. Thanks for quickly getting in the chat and taking time to write something. I appreciate you being here, Marcus. And yeah, the analysis part has been done at the beginning of the stream for everyone here, so you can check out the beginning part of this stream, which was the analysis section. But yeah, Marcus, I appreciate it, and yeah, make sure to check the live stream later. You'll find some interesting things at the beginning. Could you shortly explain how these time fib levels work? Fib time. So fib time, how can I best attack this? So fib time by itself is quite a big topic. And I use it in relation to Elliott waves. Just like you use traditional Fibonacci retracement levels to trend-based fib levels, I use them from Elliott Wave pivots when I pull certain fibs. It's not necessarily always the high or the low that I use, because I pull them from Elliott Wave points. So if this is a move to the upside here, which I labeled A or 1 on the higher time frame, then I pull a fib from the low to the high. Not this high. This is the end of the Elliott Wave first structure I have. So you pull it from the beginning to the end of an Elliott Wave structure. Now, when we think about Fib time, this is a very big topic because it's very wave dependent. So just now on the high time frame, this one, you can see I have some Fib times, which are the vertical lines, right? So you can see a couple of Fib times. And it's, look, I can talk about very quickly about waves here. So corrective structures, let me keep it general, because if we go deep dive, this is a whole video by itself, which in YouTube Gold, talking about Fib times in detail with every separate move, like Fib times for wave 2s, 4, 5, 1, corrective WXY scenarios. Like I went through all the Fib times per like thing in Gold, and it takes like a whole hour. But in general, wave 4 is longer than wave 2, so it's longer than the 1-to-1 of a wave 2 if we talk about impulses. Wave 5 and wave 1 tend to be equal in size around the 1-to-1, and if the 1-to-1 Fib time is not respected, then most commonly you go to the 0.618 or the 1.618 Fib time to estimate the end of wave 5. In a WXY sideways double combo, wave W and wave Y most commonly are around the 1 to the 1.618 Fib time area. Wave X can be much longer. Same in an ABC zigzag. Wave B can be much longer. Wave A and C tend to be around the 1-to-1 to the 1.618 area. Or 0.6, basically Y as well as C, 0.618 to the 1.618 is fine, but most commonly 1-to-1 to the 1.618. In a WXY-XZ, the second X can also be a lot longer, but wave Z tends to be similar to time with Y and W, especially W, which means around the 1-to-1 to the 1.618 again of wave W and wave Y. Triangles. In a triangle, preferably the waves become shorter in time as the triangle forms, because the price action covered is less as well, and preferably, you have 4 out of 5 zigzags or 5 zigzags in a triangle. And the biggest zigzag is the biggest structure, right? So it might take the most time. You don't want to really see time extending unless wave E becomes a triangle itself, or CD become complex in a triangle, which means they might become double or triple zigzags. They can extend in time, which can make it very confusing as well. But usually the waves in a triangle are around the 1-to-1 compared to the previous wave, or they are a little bit shorter because there's less price covered per wave in the triangle. Unless C, D, or E become complex by themselves, it can take more time. So yeah, and only one complex wave is allowed in a triangle. So either C or D most commonly, or E can become a triangle. Same for diagonals. In a diagonal, we're looking for a contracting, preferably structure, where then the first structure, the first move is usually the biggest, second is shorter, third is even shorter in time, right? Same with wave 2 being then usually longer in time than wave 4, because it's a bigger structure in a diagonal. So you based on what I hear, basically what I'm saying is using Fib time, the 1-to-1 is very important, and the 1.618 is very important, and the 0.618. Those are usually the three that you see in my videos. The 1-to-1, the 1.618, and the 0.618. So this in a nutshell, I suppose, is what you have to know. Yeah. How to use? Let me get to Fib times. I seem to remember a rather good video about Fib time in the Gold members chat. Yeah. I definitely have to get on point with the masterclass video. Just get it out there. You can't make it perfect. So I think I should just when I'm back, I should just start recording and then do it section by section, put it all together in one big video, where I go per scenario, and in every Elliott Wave pattern scenario, I will go over the fibs you pull, where you pull them from, the trend-based fib as well as the normal fibs, fib time, volume. I got it will be an Elliott Wave masterclass video on just public YouTube. It will probably be a long video, but I think I should attack it as I go through one Elliott Wave like pattern per recording, and then at the end that I just put them together. always a pleasure, João Luis. And it's good that you also, you know, like that. It's good that you count yourself, that you have your own thoughts about what price does, because no one on the internet is right or wrong, right? We all trade probabilities. No one knows what the chart is going to do. We all trade probabilities, and the more experienced you become in Elliott Waves and other confluences that you use, the higher the likelihood you'll be right? The better probabilities you have for your particular scenarios. But yeah, like, it's always good to, you know, write something in the chat here. I'll have a look at it and I'll share my thoughts, but I can be wrong, I can be right. I have some, you know, good experience with Elliott Waves and some other stuff. And we'll in the end see what happens. But at least we can have a bit of a discussion, and I think that's educational for everyone, that, you know, we can talk about different scenarios, and maybe, you know, we can inspire one another to, maybe we miss something, you know, we inspire one another to think differently and stuff. How to use the Fib time tool. So first, Shoaib Shaikh, I hope I pronounced that correctly. But how should you start with Elliott Waves? For people, other ones that have the same question, in the description, I have 2 links. Those are not affiliate links or whatsoever. It's just internet, like websites that I used myself. And what I suggest you do is you learn Elliott Waves like you would study at university. You get a notebook, and you're going to write stuff down, and you're going to study for it, you're going to learn it. So what you can then do, especially this one is very good. So this is so in the comment section you will see 2 links. I write simple Elliott Wave and detailed Elliott Wave, right? This is the detailed website, which for me is better, but the simple one, this might be overwhelming for new people because of all the info. The simple one is more simple, obviously, so it's less scary, I suppose. But if you really want to get the hang of Elliott Waves, this is, I think, one of the best websites that you will find. A lot of detail, great examples, but what's great about this website is they also tell you which Fib targets are common, rare, less common and stuff. So it's very, very useful. Get your notebook out, start writing, you know. It's truly, Elliott Waves is like, it's like doing a study, like, you know, minor or master or whatever you do, because there is so much to learn. There's so many rules in Elliott Waves that at the beginning it's very overwhelming. That's why I suggest looking at the simple one and then go to the complex detailed website. But it's just, there's so much to cover, there's so much to learn. And then of course studying is only one, because then you have to apply it to the chart. But as clear as day, as you see it on these pictures, this is not what the chart is going to look like, right? The chart is not that clear. So now on a live chart, you have all different movements, and wave 4 might be short, and then it is long and complex and this and that. And then it comes down to all the knowledge you have consumed to then gauge the probabilities based on what you see on the chart. And so you know, that's what I always do in the probability section in my videos, is first I explain the different scenarios, bullish and bearish usually, and then at the end I talk about the probabilities. And throughout the different scenarios, you often hear me talking like, okay, this lowers the probabilities, this increases the probabilities, la di la di la, right? If a wave 2 hits the 886, which is rare, it's a higher probability. It's not a wave 2, but a B or an X, right? So, and based on all the knowledge you have consumed, together with then the fibs, trend-based fibs and time, that's when you get to a conclusion which gives you the probabilities, which I always try to give in the videos as well, which doesn't mean that a higher probability always plays out, but generally speaking, because it has a higher probability, well, you know, it has a higher probability of playing out compared to the scenario that has lower probability. And in this morning, like this morning when I was updating the group over here, probabilities as mentioned were higher to see a move to the upside to at least take this high because of Elliott Waves, as explained at the beginning part of this video. Because this live stream, for the ones just entering, we did the analysis at the beginning of the video, so you can go to the start where the analysis part was, where we also went over only this structure, only only by looking at this structure over here and just forgetting about everything before. Only looking at this structure here, probabilities from an Elliott wave were already higher to move up, without even checking what happened before. And that's because of what I spoke about when I showed this in the analysis section. Because this over here, these highs did not hit the 0.618, which usually is a minimum target for a three-wave structure in either a WXY or an ABC. The fact you don't hit the 0.618 pulled from the low to this high to then this low over here, right? The fact that these highs did not hit the 0.618 increases the probabilities that it's not this being a three-wave structure, but that we have, you know, a new low and then continuation in then first, second, third. No, and I don't even have to look here what happened before. This is just very, very local price action. And then once you see the bullish CVD divergences over here and, you know, price hanging around the golden pocket support as well, it's nice. It's some nice extra confluence. And this is how Elliott waves can then help you. So sometimes it's very clear, like probabilities wise, you know, sometimes it's quite clear what the higher probability scenario is, but also with Elliott wave sometimes, and you will hear that in videos as well, sometimes it's very difficult. It can also change per time frame. Maybe, you know, now it's quite clear on the lower time frame. It already played out as we now took the high, but sometimes on the lower time frames it's very difficult to know what's going on. Probabilities are difficult to estimate. So then what I tend to do is not go into the lower time frames like in a lot of detail. I just stick around on the higher time frames, and then we wait for the lower time frames to show its hand, because on the higher time frames we are, at least probability speaking, we are still looking for eventually a move down, preferably first a move up though, but eventually we are looking probability wise for still a move to at least take the 24/7 low. But that doesn't mean we can't go to a common target area for 4, which is between the 302 and the 5, right? So it's all probability. So even if we don't know what's happening here, probabilities locally might be higher than to move up and then eventually up and then down. It's all probabilities, But locally here was quite clear what the probabilities were. The pattern of the week series covered everything. Yeah. T exam. That's thanks to you, eh? That's thanks to you. The pattern of the week. Mr. T exam. He was the one suggesting it in gold. Yo, Koen, can we do a pattern of the week? I was like, yeah, sure. And look at us go. We basically covered the whole of Elliott waves. In I don't know how many videos we have about Elliott waves, like 8 or something. 8, 9. I'm back. What did I miss? You missed chatting. I started reading the book past weekend. I love it already. The Mental Game of Trading. It's such a good book, man. Let's create an Elliott wave decision tree. Ooh, that would be a good one. Oh, where to start? Oh, well, very clear. Where to start? We can start with impulsive, corrective. Wait, let's see if there's already something like that out there. Elliott wave decision tree. Let's have a look here. Do we already have something like this? Because else we can create it. The Fibonacci construction of wave pattern complexity. Oh, but this is not a decision tree. This is just the variation. So just to show you how complex Elliott waves can be, I suppose. This is Elliott. Oh, what a bad quality picture. This is Elliott waves in a nutshell, right? All of the words you see are different patterns in Elliott waves. So, and all of every line you see has its own rules, and FIB targets and trend-based FIB targets and FIB time targets. And you know, I don't want to scare the people that want to learn Elliott waves because it is so useful. Just get to it, right? Small steps. First things first, learn about an impulse. That's where you should start. Learn about an impulse, learn about the rules of wave 1, 2, 3, the volume you want to see, then go to extended impulses, then you go to zigzags, then you go, you know, and that's how you build on your knowledge every time. And while you're learning, also try to implement it on a chart. So try to find impulsive waves, do your measurements, you know, check your fibs, all that good stuff, and that's how you learn. But actually a decision tree might be very interesting. Oh, Elliott Wave Principle. That's also a good book. Especially the first half is good, I think. So there, and one of the books, Elliott Wave Principle from Frost and Prechter, is the one I have. I don't have any other Elliott Wave book. For one of Frost and Prechter is kind of the official one. On some little bits, it's apparently already outdated compared to the like some of the new stuff that is published by Elliott Wave International, which is the company behind Elliott Waves. Yeah, a decision tree. Probably you start impulse. Now you can't even start impulse or corrective. You have to start differently because you don't yet, you know, maybe you have to start with like range or trending or ranging, something like this before you go into, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you do start impulse correction. And then if you choose impulse and you want to see the wave, then you have to decide, you have to write something about volume high or low, or it will be quite complex to make a tree, but it could be a fun challenge to make a proper Elliott Wave decision tree that can help people. You know, they can print it, they can put it next to their chart, and they can go through the decision tree. Damn, man, that's actually a great idea. I think it will be quite complex to make it, but it's a fun challenge to make a decision tree. I'm gonna think about that one. Maybe I can even think about it during the holiday I have to make like sketches on paper. I have time. It could be interesting. I wanted to make a cheat sheet, but figured I needed more context before I was able to make one. So I downloaded a copy of the Elliott Wave Principle. Yeah. Elliott Wave, like the book. I mean, it's a great book, really. If this, then that kind of structure. I mean, Elliott Wave Principle, you're talking about the book, right? Which is like many, many pages. A decision tree structure is something like this, but then it's a decision tree and not just showing the different scenarios. You have to go through different decisions, like volume is this, it's an impulse or is it a range, is it three ways, is it and then, you know, what target did it hit this target or did it hit that target, and then down the line, and then eventually highest probability scenario, bam. So you can just go through the decisions and then you get to the highest probability scenario, which is like a one-pager sheet type of thing. That could be quite interesting. Definitely could be quite interesting to develop. Start at the lowest point on the chart. I mean, okay. I suppose the empty to full chart analysis kind of shows the steps I go through, but the problem is, of course, that because I'm not a beginner in Elliott Waves anymore, so I skip a lot of things because I see them. But for people maybe starting, it would be good to, you know, have more detail. But TXM is right. Usually, if I get a new chart, I put a horizontal at the low and the high of the chart to know exactly the range we're in. Then I'm gonna look for impulses. And after I've checked and counted the impulse, then I look at the corrective structure. And then in the corrective structure, I usually first try to find impulses in the corrective structure. And then I do the rest. So that's like, you know, but it goes so quick. But for a beginner, I guess some sort of a cheat sheet with a bit more detail, so could be good to eventually decide, of course, what's happening more locally, or what's the highest probability scenario. Yeah. TXM is right though. I always start with the highest and the lows on new charts. So if we have a whatever coin, okay, we don't have a whatever coin. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's see if there's something here. There is something here. This is an absolute random something. So if I have a completely random chart, I always first select the high and the low. Holy moly, I had no idea this random. Okay, you know what? Let's go to my watch list. Is there something here? Let's actually go to coin coverage. Let's just do this. And let's go to, which one is interesting? Oh, maybe Pepe. Can go to Pepe. We've done Pepe already. Let's put it on log. Log scale, there we go. So, you know, what I then tend to do on Pepe, you know, I first select the low, then I select the high, I count the impulsive structure, right? And then this is on the daily, we're now on the daily. And then after going into the impulsive structure, that's when I start to look at the corrective structures. And then what I try to do is I try to look first for impulsive structures that you can find, right? Also, this was quite strong to the downside. And then I'll take it from there, and then I go into the more sideways overlapping bits. So I don't always go through the chart chronologically, but I go through the chart from impulse to corrective. I suppose that's a better, like, I guess, explanation. I think engine was one of the latest one we've done. Very, very interesting. Where it's the same story now. So start with the lows and the high. This was quite a nice chart actually. Low, high, I select the low and the high. Then I try to count the impulse, if there is. I want to observe, I check the volume, I check the measurements, I check the retracement of 2, retracement of 4, check the target for 5. You know, I go through all the rules of an impulse, and then I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to be like, okay, you know, what's actually happening? It looks quite steep to the downside, but can this be a 5-wave structure or not? Like, is this a sharp zigzag to the downside, or can this be an impulse to the downside? You know, that's important. So then I have to know the rules of an impulse. So, you know, this looks sharp to the downside. Can this be an impulse, or is it a WXY? So then we go through this section. Can this be an impulse, yes or no? And then eventually you get to this section. Looks like a little bit of an impulse, but is this an A, 1, C? Is this not a 3-wave structure somehow? You know, that's all stuff we have to consider. And also, by the way, before we done this analysis, this low was already taken over here, which invalidates this being an impulse, right? Because if this is an impulse, which is the start of something, you want to see continuation to not take this low. So clearly, this is either a 3-wave structure or it's a wave C, right? Because this low is taken. So all the information comes together, and then eventually you create like a plan. Chaka. Do you read Orderflow? Not anymore. I don't use Orderflow anymore in my trading. I do have experience reading Orderflow. I wouldn't say I'm that good. I just have basic knowledge about Orderflow and I can read it somewhat, but I don't use it as an entry requirement for my trading strategy. Can I read it? Yes, the basics I can read, but I don't use it anymore. Do you always use log scale or both? I use log scale from weekly and higher time frames. Daily can be a bit of a mix between log and linear, and below daily I use like linear. So meaning log is off. Do you backtest your decisions? Paul, I used to. So now the only thing I now, well, oh wait, backtest. I only do forward testing nowadays. Because I already have all the sheets and stuff set up. I only do backtesting if there's something new that I want to check, and then I backtest. So most recently with my strategy, which let me actually do this because I think I open a window that is, yeah. So let me fix it here. So, and now let me switch back to this and then this and then open this and this. So this is considering my strategy, right? This is statistics about my strategy. And my most recent statistics were this. How much time does it take for a winning trade to form or a losing trade to form, as well as how much time does a how much time is a move versus a retracement, and like just data in general. And I had to backtest this, but the thing is that in my folders I have, where is it? Oh, over here. I have the, no, here. Tracking statistics folder, which shows all of the trading setups way back regarding my strategy. So this is since, I think these might be since the November last year, because that's the when I, so in November, every time I tweak my strategy, I have to renew my statistics page, because if you upgrade your strategy, you can't use old statistics anymore, right? So this is when I last tweaked it, and then in August, early August, I actually tweaked it again. That's why I need a new sheet. But this is, you know, all the trades that, just look at all the trades that oh, it doesn't actually change the, I don't go higher or lower than on price, but yeah, it's just I got all the trades. So whenever I want to track new statistics, I just go back in time and I go to all the different setups that I still have. So all the setup, look, like long, short, up, just, you know, shitload of stuff going on here, which I can use for data tracking. So I can just go back in time and I can track statistics because I have the setups in history. So I just go back to the first setup and I just, you know, back test to see what the statistics are. That's a big spider, exactly. So look, in the beginning, I backtested all sorts of tools: speed fan, Fibonacci, trend lines, horizontals, time frame horizontals, point of controls, volume profile, certain strategies, pitchfork, whatever you can use. I backtested to gain statistics, and then based on the statistics, and of course my way of trading and personality, because a trading strategy is quite often very personal, right? Some people are scalpers, some people are swing traders because it fits their personality and their way of living. And eventually, based on all these statistics, I was able to put some of my favorites together, eventually develop a strategy around it, have entry requirements and all that stuff. And now I know my favorites, I know my strategy. I'm only trying to improve it. And I can backtest, but then I use my tracking statistics folder with all the trading setups that I had over the past many months. And I'm like, okay, I want to check this. And then I just check all of the trades I've taken, and I'm going to check that particular thing, build the statistics, and then I'm done. So, and then I get a good insight into that particular thing, whatever I'm tracking. So yeah, I do track statistics. And I do backtest. But nowadays, my decisions equals like trade. So in the question, do you backtest your decisions? Can also be, do you backtest your trades? And then backtest is actually like forward testing, because the moment I trade at the end of the month, I will record all the statistics in that statistics sheet I've shown you. So this one at the end of the month. So at the end of August, but I'm on holiday, so I might actually do it at the end of September now. At the end of every month, I put all the trades in this sheet, right? And I then record all the statistics. So now from August, and I tweak the strategy, but from August, none of the trades are actually registered yet in my statistics here. Only after August, I will do that. And then, that's how I build the statistics about the strategy. Short it. If that's part of your strategy, you should. If not, then you don't. So yeah. So yeah. I think it's just in general very good. Like, if guys, important. If you are a trader that does not track any statistics, I would highly recommend to record statistics. If you want to like have a higher probability of success, you want to do this full time, you want to get out of your 9 to 5, like whatever your reason is, build statistics, put in the time to build statistics, right? Because, oh boy, will that help you in your trading. Also, it will help you so much to build a strategy, to put different things together and then have a strategy instead of just randomly trading. So my trading setups, I actually my trading is very boring. I trade the same setup, same shit, different day. As long as my entry requirements are hit, I enter, right? But the thing is, to get to a strategy on that level, to get to entry requirements, know what you're looking for and all that stuff, you need statistics, right? You need to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you and how it works together. If you put different tools and confluences together, like how does it work? Like what's the probability of this being a winner or a loser trade? And if it is a winning trade, like if these tools come together and the win rate of these different tools together is, I don't know, 50 or 60 or 70%, then what's a winning trade for you, right? When is it winning? Is it a 1 to 3? Is it a 1 to 5? Is it a 1 to 10? Is it a 1 to 2? You need statistics, right? And that's why I really try to motivate people also by showing this sheet that I have. And I have many different Excel sheets. I have statistics about tools. I have statistics about strategies. Track statistics, because based on this, you can improve your trading strategy, right? Or in general, you can improve your life versus work. If work is trading and life is everything outside trading, if I know that in the afternoon my trading setup has a high probability or higher probability of playing out than if I would be trading from 1 to 5, and the morning I just leave the morning to spend time with, I don't have kids, but if you eventually have kids, or in the morning I can do anything else, and then in the afternoon between 1 and 5 I'm in front of the charts, because I know that on average it's a good moment to be online, right? Based on statistics. Now you think maybe, oh wait, you only have 12, 9, 7 trades, and yes, but that's since November, because I tweaked my strategy in November. I have a lot more statistics before November, but I tweaked my strategy in November, which means that after you tweak your strategy, you need to start with a new, fresh statistics sheet, because you can't use these statistics anymore because your strategy changed. Even if you only add one more rule, the statistics here are out, right? So since November, this is what I tracked. And also with trading and the strategy that you develop, maybe your strategy is going to be a scalp strategy. You have 10 trades a day. Maybe you are a swing trader and your strategy is going to be 1 a month, 1 or 2 months. I'm a day trader, and this is on average, the trades I take without the break evens. So build statistics. I swear, like it's does it take a lot of work? Yeah, it will take time. But do you want to do this or do you not want to do this? Are you just here to gamble or actually here to make profit? How much time do you want to spend? You want to work for it or not? I think it really helps. Are there other ways to win in trading? Yes. But even if you trade the strategy of ICT, or you trade anyone else's strategy, they have done statistics. They know all the ins and outs of the strategy. And maybe the strategy will work for you and you'll be very successful, but maybe it just doesn't click. You don't have the patience, or you don't, even though everyone knows the strategy is profitable, as long as you implement it, maybe it doesn't fit your personality because you're too impatient, or it's just too high time frame, it's too low time frame, whatever it is. It doesn't fit your knowledge levels, your confidence levels, or you get confused a lot. I would even recommend, if you do, for example, ICT, I just use him as an example because he has such a big following. Even if he says this and that, I would always record my own statistics based on what he said. I would backtest all of that, just to build my own portfolio of statistics that I can build on to then improve his strategy to my personality. So you take a certain basis, like the fundamentals of what he does or what I do. Maybe in September that's going to be the case, because in September I will teach people my trading strategy. It might work for you, it might not work. It works for me, but maybe it works for you, maybe not. But maybe what you do is you grab the fundamentals of my strategy, you record statistics, and then you tweak certain things and la-di-la-di-la to then match it to your personality or your way of trading. And that's how you evolve, right? Make it your own. So it's yeah. Oh man, it's so important. Seeing your way of keeping stats is really inspiring, and you're absolutely right about the importance. Yeah. Thanks, man, first of all. But it's yeah, it's just statistics have helped me a lot. Let's just, you know, and everyone is different, but it has helped me to become the trader I am today. So, and I can only recommend it. It just takes time, but again, if you want to take things serious, you know, you're not going to be a doctor by just hanging in school for 1 year and not doing anything and then become a doctor, you know. It's a serious, they often say like you got to treat trading as a business. And if you want to treat trading as a business, if you're a business owner, what statistics do you track? You know, revenue, you know, amount of clients, revenue. Your accountant is tracking 101 statistics about the money flow in your company, your products, you know, the pricing. You track a lot of data about your company. So why would you trade, or why would you treat trading differently? If you want to be a full-time trader, it basically means you want to make trading your business, right? It's going to be your business. You better track statistics about your business. So I look forward to the lessons this September. I hope it's affordable. Yeah, it is. It is. I make sure to, you know, at least, like, sure, I've seen prices of hundreds of euros for different courses and stuff. That's, guys, that's not, you know, I'm still thinking about it. Of course, there's going to be a gap between gold and diamond. Currently thinking around, like, I guess 100, which is, you know, if I see online, and it's a profitable, proven strategy, and there's a lot more included, but I haven't decided yet. So, but there's a lot inside. So it's not just teaching the strategy. We like, there, if there are setups, we show the setups as well. Oh, by the way, I actually have setups here. The last one, the latest one, was this one. Stop loss has been hit. You know, we're always fair. That was this setup, yeah. But over here, you know, take profit hit, stop loss at break even. Oh wait, that was the same trade. Take profit was hit. Oh yeah, this was a potential swing, which was at the wave Y. That was the 30K trade over here. Holy moly, that was a great one. Oh yeah, this one was absolutely nuts. You know, sometimes you have that's the rare occasion that I have entry requirements and I have some more which can increase the risk to reward, and then it's just about sticking in. Holy shit. Closed 1 2 3. But yeah, you know, this is, you know, setups. So first it's teaching the strategy, because I want to focus on teaching. It's not signals. That's why I call it setups, not signals. Then we have live trading, so I can go live and, you know, we can go through different things, or show VODs, like, you know, if there's a trading setup and we have a, you know, I took a setup and whatnot, and then I can record it and you know, explain what happened and stuff. Strategy is about my strategy, but also trying to help you develop your strategy. So this is where, you know, people can download my one pager of my strategy and more information. And then downloads, that's the place where I will post my trading journal. Position size is in, like, that's basically this. So my trading journal, I can't actually open them because it has actually trades in them with all the stats and stuff. But wait, I don't think I have it in here because I don't trade the dollar. Yeah, this is calculated for dollar positions and not Bitcoin positions. But yeah, this is all part of Diamond as well. So, you know, trading view plan, preparation plan, long or short, entries, stop loss, it's all auto calculated. So, well, and if your stop loss is 1%, then, you know, based on your account balance and your account risk and everything is auto calculated. I personally, I prefer trading in Bitcoin positions, but this is with like dollar positions. Yeah, if your stop loss is 3%, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure yet about the calculation. I think it is correct if I checked it, but yeah, I'm still working on this. But and in general, what I want to say is this is also like, you know, write some of your rules. Are they followed? Yes, no. Why do you take the trade? Emotions or feelings, time of entry, like, you know, entries in dollar, like what are your entries, so that you also calculate your swaps. Is it a winner or a loser or break even? Your RR ratio is automatically calculated. It's just, you know, it's a lot more. And then also in downloads we have, oh yeah, the statistics sheet. So you can track your statistics, because I really want to motivate people to track the statistics. and work on your own strategy. It's not just, oh, Koen has a strategy, you know, but setups are being shared. Yes, setups are being shared, but I wish for people to know why it's why is this a trading setup? Why do I take this setup? How do I trade? Basically, it shows my whole trading like thing, from calculating the positions to having the entry requirements, checking the list, which is something I print, to then entering, to then live trading, following it, to then a VOD, you know, just the whole shebang. There's a guy called Ed. He charges a whole lot. yeah, you showed me. But I know other groups that are in the many hundreds, which, you know, if you earn money trading, I don't understand why you need a $500 program, right? Like, come on. I mean, if you're one-on-one coaching, it takes time. I think it's a time thing. Look, if you're full-time trading, if someone asks you one-to-one coaching, that takes time, and time is money. You know, you only have so much time, so that's very expensive. But I think with the memberships, you know, it's value-based, not time-based. And yeah, it's just something that's I've developed it over many years, and obviously I lost a lot of money doing it, and I can't just put it out on the street. But I also know that it works. It works. I have all the statistics. So if people just follow the rules, and that's where psychology comes in, trading psychology, which is very, very complex. But very simply spoken, if you follow the rules, end of the day you'll profit. The $100 is nothing. Depends on your portfolio size, by the way. If you trade with $10, you know, it will be a problem. But yeah, it's all about following the rules, and that's where most people struggle probably with any trading related stuff. Whatever you use, probably you can be profitable, but your emotions hold you back. And that's why we'll also work on developing your trading strategy, which also equals to, you know, you got to work on your emotions. Do you take into consideration the opening hours of the different markets? New York opening is always tricky. Sellers on Sunday or Friday before market closes, etc. Sometimes I do, Ludovico, with the Elliott Wave counts, like usually on Friday, when I'm like, okay, you know, I see here a higher and a certain low, and from an Elliott Wave point of view, it makes sense that we get a bit of a move, and I prefer to see it before 10 p.m. Central European time. So I do make use of that info, but very minimal, because my trading strategy is not related to that info, and Elliott Waves not really as well. But volatility, so of course the news. This is the news of this week here. You know, I look at the red flags for volatility. So that's always interesting to me. And I do know, like, okay, you know, New York opens. Let's have a look at what happens on the chart. Maybe they go for a high or a low. But in general, I don't really keep a close eye on it, because I don't trade the open. Per se of different of different markets. What's your current trade? None, because I am on holiday and I don't trade at all. So I closed everything, and I don't, because I'm on holiday, I don't trade at all. It's an important rule I have, because I don't want to think about my trades or, you know, profit, loss or whatnot. I just want to be completely out. I do want to, you know, upload content because I enjoy doing it, and also for you all. You know, that's why I do it mainly. No, that's not true. I do it for you and for me because I love doing it. Else I wouldn't be here, right? For how long are we live now? I actually don't know. I can't really see on my phone. Oh, 2 hours 21 minutes. Holy shit! So yeah, else I wouldn't be here during my holiday, of course. But I don't take any trades, and I'm not in any trades during my holiday. Muharram Imam Shoduri, welcome. Good to see you around. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, talking about that. Let's see if my fiance is already finished at the hairdresser. She said she did, like I have to pick her up, but she didn't yet send me a message. I'm quite curious how she's gonna look, because she's gonna do extensions in preparation of also with the wedding and stuff next year, where she wants extensions. So will be fun, interesting. I got you live at last. I missed all your lives. You missed quite a lot of streams. But welcome, man. Welcome. Good to have you around. Good to see you here. Dutch XRP, smart move, enjoy your holiday. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think like you can trade anywhere, anytime. There's always an opportunity on the chart, but I lost the feeling of FOMO a long time ago. I know, I know there's always an opportunity some other day, and yeah, I just really wanna zoom out and enjoy my time here with family and friends of my fiance, and visiting Cape Town again. So I have to check all afterlife. I do check all your analysis. I like it. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I do it for. That's why I enjoy making the videos, show what's up, and hopefully people find it interesting or useful, or they get some insights, or they enjoy learning Elliott Waves and they check my videos because they want to learn. I appreciate your message. That's very kind. Yeah, that's what I make the content for you guys. On holiday or not on holiday, I really try to, whenever I have time, and that's also the expectation I want you to have throughout the rest of the holiday here, because I'll be here to the 20th of September, really, is that whenever I have time, you will find me making content, but it will be very inconsistent because I have all sorts of other stuff going on here. So that's the deal. I also think after probably almost what we just said, 2.5 hours almost, it is time to very soon put the stream to an end, where I will very soon, very likely, pick up my fiance from the hairdresser, and we go for a picnic at the beach, which is the Blauberg Beach, which has a beautiful view on Table Mountain and Lion's Head and Cape Town down there. So that is this beach, Blauberg Beach. So we're gonna have a sunset picnic over here, which is this area here, Blauberg Beach, and then Table Mountain, Lion's Head. This is the area where we're gonna have a picnic, and where we're gonna have dinner, not lunch. It's like a picnic dinner, I suppose. We might actually eat a bit more at one of the clubs, but yeah, this is the view. It's great. This is the beach. I also go surfing here. This is the place I surf. It is winter, so the water is very cold, but their wetsuits are amazing. So, the water is always cold here because it's the Antarctic on the other side. So yeah, it's always cold. See what's happening locally. These Bulla GVD divergences already played out. Price, I think, wicked the low on the chart. Oh no, it did not. It now created a double bottom here. Very attractive, very interesting. 26k here. In general, it does look corrective. The fact that you have a double bottom here increases probabilities to go down at least once more. Because if we are looking for impulses to the upside, right, and this would be your low, and this is like a wave 1, and this is then ABC2, this wave 2 retraced to the 886, which is a rare target for a wave 2. But yeah, it can all We do have bullish CVD divergences here, but they played out, and now locally this is so low time frame. I mean, bearish div on yellow, but it's a second divergence with this high. The first one was here, lower high on price, higher high on yellow, lower high on price, still higher high on yellow, but this is a second CVD, which has a lower probability of playing out. The fact that we had a big push to the upside, you had some bullish CVD divergences, and you still have these ones with your candles on the left, a little bit of a range here on the 3-minute. You also have here higher low on price, lower low on yellow, as well as on blue. So you do have these bullish CVD divergence where then the target is this high. So yeah, of course, after a bit of a push to the upside, and also the expectation that we had for price to move to the upside, because that was the higher probability scenario when price was ranging here, right? Yeah. And there's not really any resistance here except for the time naked point of control that we had, but that was the only thing I had here, 26,225. And you had these highs, but you know, this is a single line. I didn't really have it as a target box because it's not that like great of an area. This area here for me is much more interesting, 26.4, 26.5, if price can get there. So that's a more interesting area for me. Thank you, Suyit, as well as Ludovico. I like the name. Ludovico, very Italian. I wonder if you are Italian. Ludovico. Could it just be... Yeah, it's absolutely range-bound. What's the probability? Go. Oh, I actually don't know how that sounds if I blow in the mic. It's like blowing price to the upside. But what was it? Could it... I mean, we are range-bound, that's for sure. Already, of course, for quite a period now, locally over here, since the 17th of August, so like 10 days we've been ranging. So the probabilities at the moment, for me, are for prices like still higher. Because, where is it? So on the higher time frame, we are still looking for a dip to the downside, right? To take at least 24/7, which is a low there. But more locally, you know, if this is then an A or W, this is not, and also this is not really high enough to be a Y or a C. So still looking for higher. Now, what is interesting is that is this a 1, 2, and then you have a 3, 4, 5, like more of an impulsive move, or is this more like an ABC? Because we do have quite some volume coming in here, at least compared to what we had. But yeah, it's just probabilities in general when price was ranging here this morning were higher to move to the upside, and now of course we're now hitting resistance levels, right? We took the highs, time naked point of control, we get close to this resistance area, which is important, and then if we can get past this, because in the Elliott Waves is 1, but I'm still level to level. So first of all, price was down here, probabilities were high to move up, very nice. First level is these highs, second level blue box, third level. For me, it's interesting to see then the monthly at 27.2K. Over here, this is also a support resistance area where we are right now, which has been an important one throughout the whole range. So going above this, you can look for higher. No? So that's basically what's going on. The one thing I don't really enjoy, I suppose, is that this was quite a short and like quick move up, and this is very long. So if this is a WX and you're going to be looking for Y is taking so long to move to the upside. So that's why I'm not too confident, and that's why I keep saying that in that bearish scenario we could still see a move down before a move up. It's just that time wise it takes very long for price to move compared to this structure. Now this over here does not look impulsive to the downside, which means that whatever I look for here is corrective and not impulsive in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for like an impulse for much lower prices. But this can still be part of like an A, a bigger 3-wave B, and a C. Time-wise. If price moves, I want it to move quicker, right? It has to now start to move quicker. If we continue ranging here for ages, it's not really what we want to see. So probabilities on the higher time frame is finding another low. Probabilities on this time frame would be to at least hit the blue box, if not higher prices. The thing is, I'm not yet sure if that is directly to the upside or if we first move down before seeing upside. Trading wise and Elliott Wave wise, what we counted here has played out because we were looking for this move, which has played out. This was a great entry. If you're looking for higher, maybe take profit one hit, maybe stop loss break even, whatever your trade management is. And now you wait and see because now we're at resistance. So yeah, it played out. Could as well do this, no? But in general, no. This does not look impulsive, which means I'm still looking corrective, which means I'm still looking for a move up higher to at least hit the 0.618. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell, really. And what we were looking for has already played out. So now we need patience again to see what we get. Do we get continuation or is price going to fall? We have to wait and see what the waves are going to show us locally over here. But in general, I'm still looking for higher. The question is, and that's what we don't know, does it first come down? And we don't know because price took the high. Price now took this high, which now neutralizes the thought. When price was here in the morning, as written in the update section in Discord, when price was here, clear probabilities for price moving up higher to at least take these highs. That was the, and then it's about trade management. Do we continue or not? That we have to wait for new waves to come in. So this was the idea. Also based on knowledge of Elliott Waves with fibs, because the 0.618 wasn't yet touched, which is a minimum target for a wave C or a Y. So therefore I was looking for this to be a 3-wave structure and then continuation. Question is, do you get continuation to higher? Well, yeah, that's something we have to wait and see. I would like, but that is personal. I would like this box to be hit and then take it from there. Know your areas of interest. We are above the point of control. Volume increasing, of price moving to the upside, volume increasing. It's just you still have bullish CVD divergences over here. As long as price doesn't take this low, we still got bullish CVD with the target being this high. You do want to invalidate the bearish one, meaning you want to go above this high over here. If you take this high, you might be looking for the next. So yeah, I think continuation sounds more plausible at the moment based on some other like confluences. Let me put an alarm here, just so I know if price is reaching there wherever I'm out and about and I don't check the charts. I at least know where it is. It's also the only alarm. Oh wait, I have another one which is 27. Oh, that's because that's this high. Because then you're going to be moving towards the monthly. Yeah, those are the only two I have. As an analyst, how frequently you do? Well, if I wouldn't, so because of YouTube, I check the chart a lot more often. So because of the videos, right? I make a morning usually I make a morning update, afternoon update, evening update. But if when I didn't have YouTube, I always analyzed the chart in the morning. So every morning I update my analysis. And because I have my own business and I tend to work from home, one of my screens always has the chart on, so I can always see what happens. And because I stay up to date with the Elliott Wave scenarios, I already know different scenarios, but they're just less likely at the moment. But if you get new price action and one scenario gets invalidated, I can immediately switch. So it doesn't take too much work to update my chart. So yeah. How frequently I could trade doing updating my chart once a day in the morning, and then have a general idea of what I'm looking for. Actually, talking about my trading setups, which obviously now don't matter because I'm on holiday, but usually in the morning I also check if there's any potential trading setups that fit my strategy. So I already look into the day and be like, okay, this is where price is now. What do I have to see for a potential trading setup to come to me? Because I want to wait for price to show its hand first and then I react. I don't trade two areas of interest. I want to see what happens. So I already select areas of interest on the chart and then I put them in folders. And then if price reaches that area, I then know like, okay, it's time to observe. So for example, if I am trading, I analyze the chart in the morning. I put the potential trading setups on my chart. I have them in folders. I set my alarms. And whenever an alarm goes off, I can observe the reaction. I can wait and see what happens. And then eventually, if all my entry requirements are hit, I enter. But that also means that if the whole day no alarm goes off, I could not be on the trade or on the chart the whole day. But because of YouTube, I am on the chart pretty much the whole day. So I could get away with only analyzing my chart in the early morning, have my trading setups ready, and then be finished. And analyzing the chart in the morning takes me, like the folders I have here, the naked point of controls, time frame levels. It's like, maybe do some of these. I'm like 30 minutes and I'm done pretty much with the analysis. And then the trading setups, let's say 30 minutes to 45 minutes in the morning. And then I'm prepared for the day. So I've checked time frame horizontals, naked point of controls, high time frame naked point of controls, potentially some volume profiles to see, because there might be new levels. I want to look for confluences, so I look for fibs and that sort of stuff. But usually I do all this stuff before my morning update at 7 a.m. So I wake up at 6 and then I'm in front of my computer at like 10 past 6 or quarter past 6. And then I do my analysis in about 15-20 minutes, maybe 30, but then I start to record quite late, so I try to be quicker. Then I record the video, la-di-la, and then between 7 and 8 a.m., I check for my trading setups. I set my alarms and, that's it. So it doesn't have to take a lot of time. But that's my strategy. Everyone has their own. Like if you're a scalper, you might be on the charts the whole day. If I ever learn it and get successful, you're invited to Thailand. Thailand! That's amazing, man. You live in Thailand, Christian. Yeah, Thailand that's an amazing country. I actually know people living in Thailand. They also said that close to the Philippines, apparently Thailand is safer than the Philippines. Don't take me on this one because I don't live there. But that's someone that lives in Thailand now mentioned, because he has a Philippine wife. And he said that, oh wait, or is it yet? No, they live in Thailand now. Fuck, now I'm confused. Anyway, Christian, which one is safer? Salute Kaiser Chiefs, FC supporters here. Kaiser Chiefs. Oh wait, that's probably a Thailand, I suppose, football club. As an analyst, oh wait, I already answered this question. Yeah. Love the way you explain. Really appreciate it. Pleasure, Eastwood. Blow in the mic again. Big Ladusky. It's not an what are those streams again where you crack, like you eat on carrots and like what, like all that stuff. MMR? No. R what's it? Eating in the microphone and stuff. AGGR, Eating a microphone. I want to know. ASMR. There you go. ASMR. Shit. That's the one. What's your success rate? I can go to the statistics. This is my success rate. But this is, so you see all the setups in a month since November till July. I tweaked my strategy now, right? So about in a month, around 10 to 20 max trades, trading setups, win rate. And this is if you trade all setups. Now I don't trade all the setups, and these are the setups between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. I don't trade at night. But sometimes I'm speaking at an event and there's a setup, so I can't trade it, but I do record it because it's important for the statistics, right? So yeah, but I do trade most of these. So this is the total setup win rate, and when I'm actually able to trade, I don't know but hey, it's profitable. So because I can't trade every setup because I may be speaking at an event or I'm with my family having dinner, and then I can't check the charts. So maybe my actual win rate changes slightly, but maybe some months it can be much higher because maybe I picked the right trades because maybe the losers were during dinners or speaking events, so then my trading might be like 100% win in a month. But then other months I might pick more losers than winners, but on average you can see it's still like if I would have 4 losers and I picked all 4 and I need to miss 11 winners. Now that's very rare, right? So yeah, that's at least like 50% minimum. Can be higher depending on which trades I miss, but I record them all because statistics are important. ASMR, yeah, exactly. What is the local setup? What is local setup? I mean, local setup and short time frame is same. Yes. So when I have my local over here, my local folder was not about a setup. It was just a higher probability Elliott Wave count on the lowest time frame I went through, which was this section here. So we were looking for this, and then we wait and see if we get continuation or not. But this, when price was here in the morning, I was talking about probabilities are higher to move to the upside, which you'll read here, like all of these posts. Probabilities suggest a move to the upside. I wrote it there. Nothing kind of changed. So probabilities of a 5 already ongoing is low. So basically probabilities of moving down impulsively are low. Corrective is higher probabilities. Therefore, seeing a move to higher prices has higher probabilities. So I did analysis in the morning, and everything I did in the morning or in the update at the beginning of this video. So this is lower probabilities because we didn't touch the 0.618. I just showed that actually. So this for me can be a wave Y. And then local time frame was this. A, B, C didn't make sense because price didn't hit the 0.618. So therefore, it was higher probability. This is a structure. Then you have a 3-waver and you could get continuation, right? And that's what I then explain here as well. So, yeah. And that now played out because, we at least hit it. So now we patiently wait for what's next. I'm the perfect indicator. Just take the trades in the opposite direction to mine and you will be a millionaire. 100% win rate. No one wishes you to lose 100%, that's for sure. But I've been there as well, where you trade in early humble beginnings, especially where you trade and you're like, fuck, the chart is against me. Every time I enter a trade, my stop loss gets hit and then it moves. Every time I enter a position, I go in profit, that it doesn't reach my target, it goes down and I'm break even. Everything doesn't go right. Till the moment you realize it's not the chart, it's yourself. And that's the moment you're going to put in the work to change it, right? Record statistics and all the good stuff. Because then you learn like, okay, I'm doing something wrong here. The chart, that's like, chart is always right. You can't change the chart. Always, you can improve yourself. You can't improve the chart or price. Okay. I think it's been a great session. We've been online for almost 3 hours because my fiance is doing her hair and it takes hours. Holy shit. So I love her though. So yeah, I probably have to pick her up soon. She's been there for hours. Let me quickly check what's up here. Yeah, she isn't finished just yet, but I will hang out with the parents on the other side. They're also working at home. But yeah, we can hang out a bit. So, is Elliott Wave theory a must in combination with your strategy? No, it's not. No, it's there are, so in the entry requirements, I do have a requirement which uses Elliott Wave knowledge, but it is not. You don't need any Elliott Wave knowledge for the trading strategy I have. Not at all. It's completely separated. You don't need it at all for trading. So and that's because with Elliott Wave, so I can trade Elliott Waves if I want to. But the thing with Elliott Waves is it didn't really fully match my personality, and risk to reward ratios can be, pretty big. And then you have the common targets and the rare targets, and it's always probability, so you can put your stop loss on the rare targets. But then your risk to reward might be very big, like very low, because your stop loss is so big. And I was looking for more concrete, a trading strategy with like strict rules. Nothing by trying to leave as little as I can to interpretation. And Elliott Waves is a lot about interpretation, and I don't like that. So I wanted to try and develop something that is really rules-based, not much interpretation, just follow the damn rules, and then just, So yeah, that's what I tried to develop. Glad we could help you out passing the time. Yeah, thanks, Vic Ladusky. Okay, Asandula de Jong, thanks for being here, guys. Enjoy your time in South Africa. Thanks, Ludovic. LJ, thanks for the stream. Enjoy your dinner on the beach. Thank you. Of course, everything will be on Instagram story. So if you're interested, check that one out. You'll find Instagram in the description. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'm going to close the stream here. At the beginning was the analysis part, so make sure you go to the beginning if you missed the analysis bit. And I hope you have a great day. Trade safe, right? Trade safe, especially with the news coming up. I don't yet know when I'm going to do my next update, because whenever I have time, I can record a video or I can go live on YouTube. But it very much depends on the agenda, right? So yeah, make sure you trade safe. And I try to do something every day if I can, but don't expect something. It's more like an extra, I suppose. But I try to keep you updated whenever I can, of course. So yeah. Thanks for hanging out in the stream, writing in the chat, everyone. Made my afternoon. And I'll see you next time. So now what I have to do, because I have only one monitor, is open my OBS. And actually it's funny because I've been sitting like this for a while. But now now you see someone that you don't see my mouth. So maybe next time I should do this. Okay, this looks a bit weird, doesn't it? It's something it's worth thinking about. No, yeah, I actually didn't think about how it would look on the live stream. That's quite interesting. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna click this button and then end it on YouTube as well. So thanks for hanging out, and we will meet again for sure with another Bitcoin update video or a live stream. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.